Welcome to the Nick and Matt Show. Bringing the player interviews you want to hear and the hot topics you want to discuss. Recording live in studio. Here's Nick and Matt.
Episode 109. We're getting close to that 110, which just sounds a lot more than 19.
Yeah, I know, right?
Nick's still in studio celebrating his largest payday ever in the world of disc golf. I mean,
excuse me.
I've paid you a fair amount, but that's over the course of like a year or two.
Yeah,
I mean,
yeah.
One event, you just told me, $1,700, A tier up in New Hampshire. How does it feel?
Feels awesome. It's pretty cool. I was talking to a guy, I was working at my old job today who doesn't really know anything about disc golf. And he's like, you make any money with it? I was like, yeah, funny enough, I actually just made like $1,700 over 3 days. He's like, dude, that's sick. So that's like $600 a day. I said, yeah, honestly, it's like $600 for 3 hours. Cause I mean, I drove to the course, I warmed up and then I played around. So over the course of 5 or 6 hours, technically. So pretty awesome though. Definitely was a great weekend. Super enjoyable. Had great card mates all weekend, and I don't know. When things click, they click. That's really all I can say.
You slayed. This episode 109 is brought to us by Cosmic Disc Golf. Check out cosmicdg.com. Check out what they're doing. A lot of interesting things. You can purchase some disc golf products and see their cool initiatives they've got going on. Browse around all their tabs. All right, so here we are. Last week I said my ears were ringing, and some people on like YouTube were like, "Oh yeah, I feel you, bro. Been there. It'll be fine." And I'm like, "Yeah, it's fine. Like I'm not dying." But then they're like, "You need an MRI on your brain," and I'm like, "My brain?"
Yeah, it's like going to WebMD.
Brain? Yeah. No, like really, I'm getting an MRI in like 2 days on my brain. Yeah, it's real. My wife's like, "How do you feel about that?" And I'm like, "It's pretty cool."
Yeah.
How many people get to see their brain?
Exactly.
So, all right. Evan's here, not in studio, but he is here, so we can go three up and say, "What's up, Evan?"
What's up, everyone?
Dude, on your camera, there's this weird like lens flare bubble dust thing or whatever.
Wipe it.
Get a wipe. No.
Is that better?
Well, it is, but it's not better. It's just that you had something.
Oh, it's on the camera?
Yeah.
Oh.
Okay. Anyways, Evan, you've been a busy man, as we all have. Things kind of took an off week of sorts. Do you feel that way?
Yeah, this was a relaxing weekend away from disc golf in my mind. I mean, Nick could argue differently, but at least from following the tour, it was a relaxing weekend. But we're already right into it, USDGC, which we'll get into later. But the break was nice.
It was nice. It was like 8 days in a row when MVP comes to town, like 8 days in a row of just pure pedal to the metal disc golf. So
yeah,
it's nice to kind of swing back down a little bit off of that. I'm trying to set up things here so Nick can see. I'm not used to him being in studio. So Nick, I'll get you set up here. You just don't
appreciate it.
Don't you worry.
My man.
All right. If you're live right now, go ahead and hit like and subscribe and all that cool stuff. Your name will pop up on screen if you subscribe tonight. All right. What's up, Evan?
Oh, for real?
I was going to say, as we're getting to, Nick wins yet another A tier, his highest payday of his career at $1,750. That's a nice number. Nick, when we were talking about it literally like 30 seconds before we went live, you're like, I wonder if that was my largest win of my career. And it's not, but it is an MPO.
I think it's technically tied for my largest.
No, you got one more. That's bigger. It was in MA1 though.
Was it AMSide for MVP?
Nope. AMSide was 11. That ties.
Was it Brewster Ridge?
It was Brewster Ridge with a 13-stroke victory.
Oh. Yeah, I guess when you're on, you're on.
But yeah, right.
I don't know.
But yeah, 11 strokes is your largest margin of victory in MPO.
Yep.
At the Bayville Bash earlier this year in June, you won by 8 strokes. That was a B tier. And earlier in May, the Loco? Yeah, that was the Loco Open.
Loco, I won by 6
strokes, which
I played a C tier Farmageddon, and I think I won by 10 at that one. Or no, what did I don't know.
Wait, I just realized Nick should have been buying pizza tonight.
Facts.
Yeah, I know, right? Yeah.
Wait a second.
The PayPal hit my account today. I was just like, dang, that feels nice.
And you're working like while you're back here at like a 9 to 5 type job, which must be very convenient.
Like a 4 to 6.
4 to 6. That's right. People that have listened to our show for a while know what you do.
Yeah. Yeah.
Or they remember what you did, I should say.
Well, today I went out to Boston, Massachusetts, and I ran a massive track drill right next to these new kind of 3-decker, 3 stories. And we used a brand new type of splitter I've never used, which was kind of cool. But pretty much I just ran the drill all day. I got super dusty.
Drilling rocks.
Yeah, exactly.
Blowing up things. Remember that?
Yep.
I'm the safety guy. You're the guy
I
who
blew up
blows
some
them
stuff last week. Yeah. I might this week again. I don't know yet. A lot of drilling,
So
though.
tonight we've got Ricky Wysocki coming on in about, if we're on time, about 13 minutes from now. Ricky Wysocki. That should be interesting. We got a few things we want to press and see what happens with his answers, and then we're gonna bring him into stat or fiction, and then stick around. It has been a long time. I think it was May, so May, June, July, August, September, somewhere in the range of 5 to 6 months ago. We did the last version of Judge That Disc Golfer. We did a live segment with it. It is back tonight. We have a special on top of it, a special guest that is judging, not Ricky, another guest. So stick around to find out who that is, and then somebody we've all never met before, being the judged disc golfer. But let's go ahead and do this real quick. In all seriousness, DG Max Wax, I've used it. If you watch our recent, by the way, we haven't done a lot of those. We just uploaded like a front 9, back 9, Nick, myself, Ben, Evan. Go check it out. It was not our best display of golf. Nick's like, I was saving it for the weekend.
I was going to say, it definitely did not show how I played this weekend. And that always happens when I start playing on camera, like for fun videos.
Same for me.
I'm just like, dude, everyone probably thinks I'm so trash. Well,
Nick,
I'm
they think
kind
the
of
same
okay,
about me,
I
but
swear.
I'm kind of trash. But no, but like the long story short is, you'll see on that video, I'm not lying. Like I actually go for the DG Max Wax at one point because I'm like, I need it. And then other times I needed it. It wasn't on camera, but I use it often. I didn't smell it during the round, but I did use it. And then I think I just gave you the other snap stick. Have you tried it out?
I used it
Like the
that
snap
day.
stick version.
I used it that day, and then I haven't since, but I did use it that day that we were filming.
Nice. This is my favorite. I know, Evan, you feel differently. Your favorite's the snap stick. Why do you like the snap stick?
It's just the snap stick's so easy to fit literally anywhere you want it to. If your bag doesn't have enough space, it still has enough space for the snap stick.
It's true. Or in your pocket or whatever. But yeah, I love the product. We've been talking about it for a long time, and it's easy for us to do, and they sell a lot. And the reason they do, thank you very much, by the way. Some reason, some way you guys trust us. And you're like, if they're saying it's a good product, we're going to go buy it. And we only want to ever advertise things we fully believe in. So dgmaxwax.com, code Nick and Matt. I think it will change your game in some way or another. I mean, maybe it's just going to make you feel more confident, but either way, good product. All right, the look ahead. We got about 10 minutes or so.
So 10 minutes.
So Nick's bringing a topic called, I think.
Yeah, we haven't done it in a while, but the Discura discussion. Finally, we don't need to do it. We don't have enough time.
Everybody in their heads, though. Everybody in
know.
their heads goes.
Anyways, I'm gonna shout out really quick, ladies and gentlemen. It's hoodie season. It's getting to that point, especially in New England, where it is nice and chilly. You can go check out these Discura lifestyle hoodies. They're heavier, kind of medium weight. You can also get the ones with.
For our non-listening audience, it's the Nick Carl logo.
My logo's on the back of it. It's on Discura, DiscuraDG.com. You can go check it out there. But anyways, for the Discura discussion tonight, I just wanted to pop up. The Pro Tour announced earlier this week the new 2023 schedule, which I thought was pretty wild because I had heard so many rumors that we were starting in Florida next year, but we're actually starting in Vegas next year. I heard there was going to be more Silver Series events. It seems like there's less Silver Series events. There's E+ events. Yeah. There's events that weren't even on the schedule last year that are Elite Series this year. So kind of just going briefly through it. I'm just going to try to go quick, but Las Vegas Challenge, same as normal. Probably going to be a 4-round event. Yes, it is. Waco is still on the schedule. The Open at Austin, which is what I'm assuming is the Open at Belton. I would assume we're still playing the Belton course. Huh?
Nope, same TD and staff, but it's going to be in Austin, I heard.
Yeah, it actually shifted.
Really?
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
Oh, heck yeah, because I'm not going to lie. Dude, the Belton course was...
Your whole discussion is deflated.
Yeah, exactly. No,
right.
That's fine. No, that's actually...
We can talk about that next March.
Yep, exactly.
Yeah.
Awesome. Texas States was an Elite Series event this year. Ricky Wysocki won it. It is now a Silver Series event. Music City Open is something that wasn't on the schedule this year, but is now an Elite Series event for next year in
I'm a
Nashville,
huge
Tennessee.
fan of that event.
Huge
It gets
fan
mixed
because my
reviews, but
girlfriend
I
lives in
like it.
Nashville, which is awesome
There you go.
because 1, I got a place to stay. 2, I get to see my girlfriend. And 3, I get to play disc golf in Nashville.
Wasn't
you
this
should
the course
rearrange
that
that
Chris
order.
Dickerson?
But
Chris
What's that?
Dickerson. Yeah, hold on, we're all talking. He was just
I
making
said
fun of
rearrange
your
that order.
Yeah.
Visiting
no
your girlfriend
specific
should be
order,
number
of
one.
Chris
Yeah.
Dickerson mentioned last year after we interviewed him, I think following that win, we asked him how he treated a win at like a course or venue like that. And he said he treats it the same level, but he feels like that course needed a little bit of tweaks here and there. He didn't think it was good. But anyway,
I remember him saying that. The Blue Ridge Championships in Marion, North Carolina. No idea what that's going to be like, but that's a Silver Series event. Champions Cup still happening in Appling, Georgia at the W.R. Jackson course. Jonesboro Open, still an Elite Series event. Then we shoot out to the West Coast Swing, OTB Open, Beaver State Fling, and Portland Open, with Beaver State Fling being the Silver Series event and Portland Open being an Elite Plus event, which is what I'm assuming is, correct me if I'm wrong, Evan, is just a 4-round event, is the Elite Plus, right?
4-round event and bigger paydays.
And bigger
so I think
paydays.
it's going to have a set higher amount.
Oh, very cool.
Yeah,
Gotcha,
so even
gotcha.
though LVC is likely going to be a 4-rounder as well, I'm guessing that's going to be more of a standard Elite Series payout, probably like 6 to 8 to your winner, where I wouldn't be surprised if Portland and Ledgestone are going to be maybe double digits payouts, double digits in the thousands.
So then briefly through these ones, the midseason stretch, Preserve Championships, DDO, and Des Moines Challenge. International Swing, Discmania Open at Prince Edward Island in Canada, which is what I've heard is an incredible, incredible course. That is a Silver Series event this year. Super awesome to hear about. Sula Open is now an Elite Series event, and then European Open being another major. Late Summer Push is the Ledgestone Open, then the Idlewild Open, Ledgestone being an Elite Plus. And then we got the home stretch. The Great Lakes Open this year, Matt, is a playoff event, which wasn't last year, and now it is this year.
Because of Worlds at Smugs, I'm imagining?
Yep. And then Rochester Flying Disc Open, that's a Silver Series event down in Pennsylvania. PDGA Worlds is happening in Vermont this year. MVP Open at Maple Hill, playoff event. U.S. Women's Disc Golf Championships, which is a major. The United States Disc Golf Championships. The U.S. Women's Disc Golf Championships is happening in Burlington, North Carolina. And then the USDGC is happening in Rock Hill. Then the Tour Championships have finished out the year at Charlotte, North Carolina. So kind of what stood out to me, like I said earlier, thought we were starting in Florida. Overthrow just asked me, was I excited the tour was going to start in Florida? I kind of was, only in the sense of it's easier for me to get to if I did want to go to it. I don't know how many big events I'm going to be planning on playing next year. I haven't decided yet. That's something that
I'm laughing, Nick,
I'll decide.
not because of what you're deciding to play, but people online were like, dude, the tour is so Central East Coast heavy.
Oh, yeah.
You're like, it'll be easier for me. They're like,
dude, it would be.
Yeah. Anyways, it's
To
just funny.
start and finish. The only thing would have
Let's
to
just
really
keep
just
the whole thing on the East Coast.
Yeah, I just have to skip the West Coast.
Just to clarify, though, the next season it starts in Virginia at the Lake Marshall Open, then it does go to Florida. So those are in 2022, but they are for the next season.
Yep.
The graphic and schedule that came out was specifically just the 2023 year,
you're right.
Although there's more in the season, just to add on.
I am playing the Lake Marshall Open, which I'm super excited about. Silver Series event this year. But anything
Nick, I got to agree, though. I got to agree that it is limiting on the amount of silvers. I thought there would be more silvers. I mean, specifically Masters Cup is no longer a silver series. There are a few more additions that you talked about, but there's also a few that were silver series this year that are getting dropped, specifically the Mid-America Open and the Butler County Disc Golf Championship, I believe it was called. Both are getting dropped. I think just due to scheduling, it's hard to fit so many in, but that's something I was expecting more of, and I think it's exciting to see these Elite Pluses and Sula getting to be a Elite Series. So it was a Silver Series this year, cool course, and then this kind of makes the European swing a little bit more beneficial. You can't just miss one major; you're missing two, a major and an Elite Series. I think that's really cool to see. The biggest thing though that I take away, maybe not the biggest thing, but a big thing, is the end of the season stretch for the women is going to be grueling. You go, I think, like 5 weeks of 4 majors / playoff events. I think it goes Worlds, week off, MVP Open, which is a playoff event, and then they go major being with U.S. Women's, major with, or Okay, it's not a major, it's an XA. For the throw pink, I'm assuming is coming back next year, and then I guess it's the Tour Championship. I said it was major too, but that's just a really high profile finish to the end of the season. Kind of jamming in a lot of the big events. I think it's going to be really cool seeing all that, but it's also going to be really tough, and hopefully still exciting for each one of those events.
Interesting. I say interesting because I just looked at something and we're going to try to pull this off. It's possible the stream might pause for just a second. So sit tight, everybody. I want to make sure that we're able to pull off a good show tonight when we get our guests in here. So I have to switch the streaming platform really quickly. So sit tight for just a second. Let's give it a try. Oh, you guys can still hear us. We're going to edit this out after, but
I don't think they can.
They can't?
Yeah, it says your network seems to be.
Wow, I don't know what happened there.
Did we just randomly crash?
No, we didn't randomly crash, but we were connected to my home residential network. And that's not going to allow us to get in all
Ryan
the guests.
said they can hear us.
Yes.
Wait,
but
what?
once we go to bring in the 3 other guests at one time,
Yeah.
it won't handle it.
Yeah.
So I'm switching to the other one.
Gotcha.
Hola, ¿cómo tú
Okay.
estás?
We should be good. And we probably were the whole time.
Por
All right,
favor.
let's keep going here. Sorry.
Oh, am I? Oh, wait.
Well, I'll kind of, while Matt's doing that, I'll just say the tour seems super packed once again. Definitely seems like plenty of events for tons of players to go out and have an awesome season. D-Glow being a playoff event is pretty awesome, but for me, kind of sad because if I play like I did this year, I'm not going to make the playoff event. But I love going up to Michigan for the Discraft Factory and just to hang out with all the Discraft homies. So maybe I'll just make a trip of hanging out for the weekend or something like that if I can fly up there.
Hey, you could always qualify.
Yeah, I
Okay.
can give it a go.
Okay, I believe we're still good here.
We're
and
good.
so at this point, clap, clap. This is where you cut back in, Matt. The live YouTube feed gets that extra stuff sometimes, but that's what happens when I have multiple networks set up at home.
Something I wanted to add too is I wouldn't be surprised if the schedule gets more additions. We saw the match play tournament both years, but the inaugural year last year in Pennsylvania and then this year in Colorado get added on after the schedule gets announced, kind of gets filtered in when it can. I think Colorado was a really cool spot. I really like the idea of keeping a mountain course on tour in some capacity, even if it's only match play. There are so many cool mountain courses that can kind of fit between that Portland Open / Beaver State before we hit. I don't know if it's the Preserves, the first event kind of back in the Midwest this year again, but you can go like the Zootown Open is always covered by Central Coast. There's a lot of courses out there in kind of the Missoula area. You have Idaho has a bunch of cool courses. I mean, we could even go back to Utah and see the Fort as just a Silver Series or match play event would be really, really cool. I mean, think of what the Pro Tour could pull off with having a match play event where your tee pad is the new James Conrad tee pad at the Fort. There's so much potential.
What about the All-Star break? You know,
That's
not really announced yet.
That's a great point too. Yeah.
And I'm wondering, would you rather an All-Star break middle of the season or beginning of the season?
I think it works well in disc golf to be middle of the season, but sorry to cut you off, Matt.
I don't want it to be middle of the season because I just feel like you're not going to get the same experience of like lightheartedness, which I want that mixed with like extremely fun, talented throws. And I don't think you're going to get that mid-season because people are just going to be like, we're mid-season. I don't want to waste my time.
Yeah, but every sport, most other sports, I would say, does it mid-season. And I feel like they put on a pretty large spectacle.
Possible. I just see someone like Paul like saying, nah, I'm going to skip it.
No, that is interesting. I think I would agree with Matt is that it would just be like we saw match play. One of the top 5 in both divisions skipped out on it. And we still saw an incredible event with lots of great players, but it was kind of missing that true, top tier feel where All-Stars, we were missing a few top players. I mean, Ricky and Paul both missed on the MPO side at the minimum. That was unfortunate, but I feel like you get more players having it be the beginning of the season. They're kind of itching to get back out into disc golf. Also, the way the season goes is it's kind of chilly, even in Vegas in February. So doing it in the sunny Tucson or when I was just outside Phoenix last year, last year in 2021. So Arizona both years. I think that's a really good opening spot where if you do it middle of the season, no matter where you're going to put it, it's probably going to be hot.
I liked,
even if it's somewhere like Minnesota.
I liked the style of last year's last year's or earlier this year. It just feels like such a long year. Sorry. But earlier this year, the way they did the All-Star versus last year's where they just did it at Fountain Hills, the All-Star break, I don't know, it seemed cooler. It had more variety of shots that the players were supposed to execute for points for their teams. I thought that was pretty sweet. So I'd be curious to see what improvements. I mean, Matt, you and I have talked about this, doing a field game thing here in Massachusetts before, of like setting up, you gotta throw the stock Kaiser, stock Annie, you gotta, go forehand Annie.
So they did that kind of at this venue last year. They're like, you got to go through this tree gap. You have to go around this tree gap. You have to land here. They did bullseye stuff, but I see it being more, let's put like a bleachers, right? I know that's the new thing for disc golf, but put bleachers in like a U shape and just have everybody grouped there. You don't have to move much. You could do long drives out of that spot. You could do like CTP stuff out of that spot. And just, make it really fun and exciting. It doesn't have to be a full, I got to walk a whole round and show off kind of thing. I really see it just being much more fun. It was pretty lighthearted, but I want to see the excitement level of fans packing it out. And anyways.
Nope, I got you.
But I'm saying I think I want to see that in the middle of the off season somehow.
Okay.
That's kind of where I'm at with it. But we can ask Ricky himself here in a minute when he's ready to come on. It looks like he's getting situated in the green room. Ricky, give us a thumbs up if you can hear us. Cool. All right. And if he's ready, let's go ahead and intern Ben, you ready to bring him in?
Yes.
Yes. Okay. Let's do it. Bring into the show a lot of accolades. I'm not going to say them all. We'll just say Ricky Wysocki, everybody. Welcome to the show. How's it going, Rick?
Doing good, man. I just got done with the practice round. Actually, like 10 minutes ago, I just got done with the course and got back and wanted to join the show. So it's been a good day.
Well, man, he wants to join the show, people. We gave him direct access. I should make the Ricky link where anytime, any place he has hit the link, you're in the show. Crashed it. So
yeah, right on.
I made one of those links for myself. So when I'm away, they don't know, but I can just jump in the show and just say, no. You're not doing it.
Just pop in whenever you want.
Exactly. His name's on the show.
You're still there.
Yeah.
I think we should do this, intern Ben. We should put a little like camera in the corner that's just blank. But if Ricky ever hits the button, he's in the show. There he is.
Like me.
Yeah, like you.
Full access anytime.
Okay.
Kind of like that. All right.
Exactly.
Intern Ben. All right.
I love it.
Man, so you got a practice round in, but if people follow your social media like we do, you made a trip to Maine. How did that work out? Because you left MVP. Where'd you go? And then how'd you make it up to Maine?
Yeah, actually, so I was going up to New York to do a shoot with Jomez and John Boy. They flew me up to New York to film a video. And then while I was up there, I was looking at the weather. I'm like, all right, well, if I fly back, it's just going to be hurricane weather for like the next 2 or 3 days. So I won't be able to practice if I go down to Charlotte. So I'm like, all right, well, Maine's got cool courses and it seems like a cool place to go hang out in the, kind of between summer and fall season. So I went there to kind of get away from the weather that was in Charlotte because it was basically rain for what looked like 2 days, but it rained all day on like, I think Saturday. Mm-hmm. So I wouldn't have been able to get practice in anyway. So I was like, all right, I'll just go to Portland for a couple days and be able to practice. I think that having that extra day of practice really helps me kind of, just keep in tournament shape instead of, either going out there in a torrential downpour or like most people probably just didn't play anyway. So I just wanted to, keep the reps going.
Yeah. And I'm sure for the local disc golf community, they're probably super stoked. I'm sure you got a few autographs and pictures and all that. Like, what was that reception like from Maine?
Yeah, it was awesome. It was really cool to see that, to see the fans come out. I went to a couple courses. I kind of posted on the local page just asking what courses are semi, comparable to USDGC. Not that there's a lot of courses out there that are like comparable to it, but similar shots, open with OB. And so I played Pineland Farms and I played Devil's Grove and I played, what was the other course I played? I played one more. Sabatis, yeah, that was one. Yep. Yeah, so yeah, those courses were sweet. And then I went and showed up to like a local event right before I flew out and with T1 and just kind of hung out with them and everyone checked in and come, just chat with people and just, they were just, super, pumped for me to be there supporting their local tournament. So it was good.
I got to play Devil's Grove earlier this year, and I was pleasantly surprised. I don't know how far it's come at this point, but that's all like they hauled out trees and grass and everything. It's crazy. So
Yeah, I think overall as a whole, I think as far as like, because every course is basically like a pay to play, which you obviously it shows because they put a lot of time and effort into upkeep in their courses, and I think that Maine's a great state as far as like just showcasing really good courses that are well maintained.
yeah, it's crazy. Pretty much all private. It's
Yeah.
like it's Maine is
over
like private.
95% or something.
I don't
like
even
that.
know. There might be
Or
like 2
98%,
public
yeah.
courses up there. It's like nothing.
Yeah. But they have such awesome courses. And like Ricky said, they're maintained super well.
So I know you've probably moved on, and as an athlete and competitor, you're probably past this, but you just won the MVP Open, so congrats on that.
MVP.
I mean the point series. Sorry, not this is what. Okay, this is what Zoe did to Gannon Burr.
Yeah.
Congrats. Okay,
Yeah.
not that. I was going into Disc Golf Pro Tour points at the MVP Open. You were awarded that title. When you were coming into the final holes, did you realize how close it was, and did that affect your gameplay at all, or was it just nothing different?
Yeah, well, me and I knew it was a battle basically between me and Paul. I mean, I think we were on the same card. We were obviously both trying to win, but at the end of the day, we were pretty much both out of it coming down 18. With as many holes as the lead card had, it may have looked like we were both kind of had a chance, but with that many holes left, there's a lot of birdies to be had on the course. So for me, I knew it was just I had to try to finish as good as I could and get as many points as I could because I was ahead of Paul going into the tournament. So I knew if we tied or if I beat him, then I win the points. But I didn't know because he ended up beating me by 2 strokes at the end, and I didn't know how many points he was going to catch up with by beating me in the tournament. And I ended up hitting like a 70-footer on 18 for save par, and that ended up being like the stroke that actually like won me the points title. So that was pretty crazy. I didn't know it was going to win me the title, but obviously I wanted to make it and to finish as best as I could and give myself the chance.
Yeah, I mean, realistically, I don't know if you would have been able to calculate it all that fast, but I think had you missed it, you might have still had the same placement. I'm not sure if anyone caught you, but
okay.
But in the moment, absolutely. Like as fans watching it live and even media, we knew it was that close. And Paul threw an aggressive shot to get on there for birdie. And then when you went out of bounds, we all thought, this is insane. Like, this is like, what's going to happen? And then you hit it. And you probably appreciate hole 18's enthusiasm there. I mean, everyone just lost their minds again. It's just so fun. So congrats on that.
Oh, yeah. Thank you. That made it that much better. Just finishing the tournament and getting that roar from the crowd. That was, that's what Maple Hill's good for. The 8 holes in hole 18.
There you go.
You hear the crowd wherever you are on the course.
Yeah. Yeah.
They're cheering for your bad shots as well, apparently. They don't know what's going on.
Right.
So you've been pretty vocal lately. I'm going back to the press conference. You've talked about it on Smashbox. You've probably been interviewed numerous times about it. So people can go check out those other interview sources here. But just in general, could you give us just like the short version of what you've been saying in regards to, you're there, Rick. Okay, there you are. Hold on. Audio is muted. Your audio is muted somehow, Rick. If you have to get this back up, you can just literally exit out and relaunch it if you need to. Try that. Because for some reason it muted you with that.
I bet you got a
notification,
call.
a text, or a call. Yeah. It usually works, so that's interesting. But what I'm going to ask Rick when he comes back on after that blunder of a question,
What if he never comes back on?
he's just gone.
He's like, nah, screw this.
He has been talking about Players Seasons Awards being worth more. Hey, Rick, can you hear us?
Yeah, he's good.
Okay, cool.
Sweet.
All right, put him back up. Let's grill him now.
Boom.
All right, good.
That's when you're
Sorry,
important and you're getting phone calls and texts. Sometimes it does that.
That was actually my alarm to make sure I was ready for the show.
All right.
Okay. Maybe alarms do that. Okay. So
All right.
you've been fairly vocal about, and I'm going to try to kind of summarize it, but I want you to give us your version of it, is Players Season Awards. I don't want to put words in your mouth, but should be, or at least are to you, more valuable than an individual event, whether it's a major or not. Is that close? Go ahead and like fill in the blanks.
Yeah, for sure. So basically, I was kind of just reflecting on the season, obviously after, coming down the last part of the year. And obviously, me, that goes back to reflecting on the season and each tournament that I played, and each of the wins that I had. And so after reflecting on it, yeah, I look back and basically think like, hey, how does that feel? What was I doing right? What was I doing wrong? So I can kind of go back as a player and say, how can I repeat my successes and maybe learn from my mistakes. But at the end of the day, what I was trying to say is that tournaments nowadays in the field strengths that we have, yeah, I mean it's hard for one to win a tournament. Doesn't matter if it's a major, elite series, no matter what it is. So the fact that if you can have a consistent season, and obviously as you see, players don't, we're not having the 6, 7 win, 8 win seasons like we used to. So in order to determine the best player for that year, it's going to have to fall back to points, because it's not like it used to be where me and Paul, like we're winning 7, 8 tournaments in a season, and it's pretty obvious who's the best player in the world. And then another thing I was also saying was that I was trying to get people to understand that there's a difference between like the best player in the world and the best player of that season. Like it's kind of a weird thing in our sport that like you have a world title, but you may not be the best player that year. And it's just something that where it just, just reflecting on the season, it really made me realize like, hey, the years that I did win worlds, I felt like I was the best player, and that the worlds was a stepping stone in the right direction to be the best player in the world. Even in 2016 and 17, when I won the worlds, it wasn't like, oh, cool, my season's over, I'm world champion. It's no, I won the world title, and there's still events that are, pretty close to as big that are going to allow me, if I play well and win those, that are going to, really allow me to be the best player of this year. And I can look back in 2016 and 17 and say, yeah, I won a world title, but I also won a lot of events that allowed me that made me the best player in the world. And, it doesn't necessarily mean that I, that just because I won the world champion, I was the world champion of that year, that I was also the best player. And, there's certain, players that win a worlds, and it's a title you'll never be able, you'll look back and forever be grateful and thankful that you won that. But yeah, it's just a weird thing in our sport that, yeah, you can be, like not knocking Paul, but, he won the world title this year, but he's not necessarily the best player in the world. It's, I would say, if I had to say it, it's between me and Simon. As far as the best, who's having the best season this year. And if you look back in 2022, you're going to say, who's the best player of the 2022 season? You're going to say it's, depending on how the season plays out. But I would say if it ended right now, it would basically be between me and Simon. Yeah. You see what I'm saying?
Now, so that's
because, and go ahead.
No, go ahead.
And so, in my head, the way I'm looking at it is like, if you play, let's say 20 tournaments and you get, you win one tournament, which may be the world title, and you get dead last in 19 other tournaments, like you're not the best player in the world, in my opinion. And it's just something that where people, it's just kind of a gray area as far as, and all what it boils down to is field strength, and people are like, oh, you wouldn't be saying that if you won the worlds this year. That's besides the point. The point is I'm looking at it as a whole. I'm not taking it away anybody's accomplishments. That's not what this is about. This is about moving forward, how we can go ahead and look at our sport and really value titles and value certain things that maybe we didn't in the past because we didn't have this amount of tournaments with this big, field strength.
So the
field strengths are just as good at an elite series almost as a major, and that's just because.
Yeah, I hear you there. So you're probably not saying this, and I don't want to say words in your mouth, but
yeah,
that majors aren't worth. You're saying majors are worth the same because of the field of strength.
No, I'm not saying that at all. I'm just saying that, that the majors are a stepping stone in the pathway to becoming the best player of that year. And yeah, they're definitely worth a lot. And I'm not taking anything away from majors because they're the biggest we have. But as far as the majors, the field strength at a major and the field strength at, let's say, just, Green Mountain, or, let's just pick a random tournament in Vegas, like most of the times they're not that far off as far as how many top level rated players are at the event. You see what I'm saying?
Yes.
And so where it used to be the drop off between worlds and, let's say, Waco, 6 years ago, 5 years ago was huge difference. Nowadays, it's like, I mean, there may be like 2, 3, maybe of the top 50 that aren't there. And that's about it, just guessing off the top of my head versus maybe back in the day, there's, it's the complete opposite just because, that was the only tournament that we had that had the best players in the world. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, we don't usually argue with our guests on here, so this is like we try to do an interview, but we've had you on a few times. We've had you on a few times, so we're just gonna open the gates. No,
let's do it. I'm down.
I think Nick has something.
So yeah, I mean, we can all say that's kind of revolving around the World Championships. And now, do we kind of have that same feeling for USDGC, where a lot of players like Nate Sexton, a lot of other players have talked about how they almost feel like USDGC is an even more prestigious event than Worlds because it's been at the same arena for so long. You have to qualify, like legitimately qualify to get into the event, and then 4 people qualify, the Monday before. And so, I mean, the field of strength is pretty massive at the USDGC, is what I'm assuming. But would you kind of consider the same thing almost in the USDGC standard?
Yeah, I mean, yeah, for sure. I mean, USDGC is pretty much, I would say, on the same level as Worlds. And it's just like you said, the field of strength, how hard it is to actually qualify nowadays because of the how many good players are out there. And so it's really an accomplishment to even be in the tournament. And so it makes it that much more rewarding. First of all, A, being in the tournament, and B, being a champion. And it's so well respected because of that reason. And I think that at the end of the day, that's perception of the title is, for the fans is what's the most important. And the perception of Worlds and USDGC has always been, that's the title to win, and it still is. But my point is, the other tournaments aren't that much difference as far as the media, the court, the how good the courses are, the spectators coming out to the course, the eyeballs on the tournament. That all has just grown so much, and I think that the gap between the majors and the elite series just aren't as much as it was, 5, 3, 4, 5 years ago.
That is a perspective that I'm getting on board with. I think from your player perspective, you saying that makes me realize how far your standard, if you will, elite series events have come. I think if I was to bring up one more point here from my side of it, is there has to be a difference as a player, though. Maybe the field of strength is the same, but the pressure gets ramped up when you go to a world champion, right? When you have a world championship on the line, the pressure is ramped up, so it feels different. Something like Worlds going to 5 rounds really takes it to a different level as well. I think generally I get what you're saying. I think maybe, and this is going to be to what you've already talked about as well, putting more emphasis on season-long awards to really separate it for what it actually is. I think we need to do that with all of the special events now. Worlds, USDGC, Players, Season, Awards. I think we need to separate them and make them bigger. If you're saying there's not that big of a separation, I think we need to do a better job. Okay, yeah, his phone. I don't know why his
Ricky,
phone
we don't
goes
have
mute.
your volume again.
Oh boy.
I don't know why it goes
Come back
mute.
out and in. We'll get you right back. So let me say this while it's on my mind before Ricky comes back. So in the way that I'm kind of reading the situation is we're talking about what's kind of the difference between these events. So what if we did Elite Series are 3-round events, Elite Plus are 4-round events, Majors are 5-round events. You know what I mean?
Ooh.
All right,
He's back.
Sweet.
Sorry.
No, you're good.
The alarm keeps going off.
No, you're good.
But what was your thought? Last thought you were saying?
So I was just simply saying it's interesting that you're seeing the similarities in the event quality. Like it's not separating that much in your mind, possibly. That's maybe part of it. The other part of it is Nick is saying, like, what could we do to maybe separate the status of these events? And he's saying maybe just go like Elite Series 3.
Well, the reason I'm saying is also
rounds.
Because the field of strength is going to increase as players get better, but it's also going to get to a point where legitimate tour card holders are going to be the only ones playing pro tour events, I think, within the next 5 years. And so you're not going to have the donators, as we used to call them, going to events. Like this year I was a donator, so I can say that. You don't have the me's going to the event and kind of the field of strength maybe dropping a little bit because of players like me. When the tour becomes way more legitimized, you're going to have all the best players in the world playing it because it's, a legitimate situation they can go in and, make a real living off these tournaments. So your field of strength is never going to kind of differ between events. So my way of, how do you make an event feel different from another event? And my kind of take on it was you have Elite Series events that would be 3 rounds, let's say like a Waco. You have Elite Plus Series events that are more added cash into them, like they should be going into next year. They're 4-round events. And then you have majors, which are 5-round events. So now you're having more of a grueling tournament for the 5 rounds at majors, and you're having more consistency with the Elite Series for the 3-round events. I think that's also where we could kind of tell consistency throughout the whole year, is if it maybe changed to a mode like that. I mean, I'm just kind of thinking of it on the fly, but just going off of what Ricky is kind of saying.
Yeah, no. And just, I guarantee if you ask a lot of people at it, very similar to and that's something that where if you just simply that's from the inside, that's kind of something that where this kind of thought really sparked. And I think that that's something. Oops, can you guys hear me?
Yeah. So for 15 seconds, your microphone was kind of in and out. I think it's just an internet thing.
It's a connection thing.
So
it looks good now. It looks good now, but it's
yeah,
fluctuating.
If you can, just repeat what you said and we'll be perfect.
Okay, cool. Yeah. So basically my thought, and really what sparked this whole thought was, let's take a Des Moines Challenge, for example. And as a player, you experience the spectator experience. You see the spectators, you see the energy there, and how they direct the traffic, how everything's operated. And then you go to a Worlds, and the production is not that far off. And so the feeling of winning that event may not feel much different than a major. And that's really what and I'm not saying at all to discredit any major title, because that's the biggest and best title we have in the sport, and that should always be the pinnacle. But I just think that for spectator or for fans, they really just need to realize that the other events have a lot of value and are just as tough to win based on the field of strength. But yeah, that's pretty much all I'll say.
No, that's good. And I've been thinking about this a lot. And Rick, I'm grateful that you say stuff, because it causes us to think and talk, and a lot of people benefit from it. I was thinking immediately to the Olympics. We crown world champions at the Olympics, Olympic winners, and a lot of them had to qualify to get there. Yes. But sometimes you see the player who is not, and we can all agree, is not the best player in the world, win an Olympic title, and they pull off some underdog thing or whatever. And you're like, they just won it. They're an Olympic hero. It's the biggest moment of their life, and probably will be, but it doesn't mean that they are the best. It means they won the Olympics. And I think that's kind of what I'm seeing Rick separating, is you can't take away the title. Yeah. It's the biggest title you can probably get, but it doesn't mean the same weight that so many people try to give to it, which is they are the world champion, as in the world's best. And that's not what that title does.
Now let me for 20 seconds, just slightly play devil's advocate, in the sense of, we'll talk about the Olympics, but then also the Disc Golf World Championships. How often do we see that happen in the Olympics? I'm very curious, because I haven't watched the Olympics in forever.
I actually think a lot of times it's happening.
Think more in the Olympics? And I think the reason being is because there's way more events in the Olympics. So there's way more opportunity for that. But for swimming, when Michael Phelps was at the height of his career, he was winning literally everything. Usain Bolt was winning everything at the height of his career. Now, hold on a second. So for disc golf, in the last, and I was saying this a couple of weeks ago, in the last, let's say 11-ish years, 10 years, we've seen this realistically. I don't really know about 2012 and 2013. Ricky can enlighten me more on those years of who the best player was in those years. But for the most part, in the last 10 years, we've seen a player win the world championships that wasn't the number 1 or 2 player in the world happen twice in the MPO division and once or twice in the FPO division. Now, Ricky, like I said, correct me if I'm wrong, in 2012, 2013, I feel like at that point, you and Paul were top dogs, kind of really showcasing your skills. I know you got second that year at Worlds. You had both played incredible, but I think you can realistically say in the last 10 years, we've seen that happen twice, with Greg Barsby in 18, who I think was still a top 10 player, and then James Conrad last year, who I think was 11th or 12th. And Evan, I know he's in studio right now, could correct me if I'm wrong, but anyways, I don't think it happens as much as what I kind of feel like Olympics. I could see it happening way more because there's way more events. But for the most part, you're world champion. At least
they are contenders.
Since I've gotten into
they
the
are
sport,
contenders for sure.
Since I've gotten into the sport, I feel like has more so been, if anything, a top 3 player in the world. Which, it's like the NBA championships. You all get seeded, and the Golden State Warriors were the 1 or the 2 seed in the West this year, and they ended up winning the NBA championships against the Celtics, who were the 2 or 3
It happens often. You're right, Nick. The person who wins is often in the conversation. I'm going to let Ricky respond to that if he wants to.
Yeah, and no, you're totally right, and that's kind of also another thing that really, I was just, looking back at, previous world champions, and there's years that I felt like I won the world championships, and I was the best player in that year. One, because I won that tournament, but I won other tournaments that caused me to feel like that. Maybe 4 or 5 other events. If I just won the world championships, I wouldn't have thought, and that was the only tournament I won that year, I wouldn't have said that I was the best player of that year. And same goes for Paul. Like when Paul was winning his world championship, like in 2013-14, there were those years he was also winning lots of other events that if I look back and say, yeah, Paul was the best player that year.
We have a battle. We have a battle all season now, and you said you and Simon possibly. If Simon somehow, he doesn't show up that often at majors very highly. Sorry,
he said
Simon.
It. His words, not yours.
Simon's listening in his home playing pool right now, I'm sure. But sorry, Simon. But if you show up, Simon, and you win this, Ricky, is he going to be the best player of the year? Oh no, we lost Rick
the alarm.
again.
Not again.
Oh my goodness.
No, Rick. He's gone.
We can see his reaction.
Come back. He's like, oh damn it.
He's got it down pat. He's got it down pat. I don't know why it's never muted our guest for something like that, but that's okay.
Oh.
So I'm asking him, would Simon be the player of the year? Okay. So they both have 4.
Chat says
it's
so.
weird. We have a stat guy who can literally tell
Rick,
us.
You cracked us up hardcore that one.
I know. I'm sorry. I finally canceled the stupid alarm, so it shouldn't happen again.
He clicked snooze. He kept snoozing it.
Okay.
I kept snoozing it on accident.
So here's the thing, and we're gonna wrap this up soon here.
Yeah.
We got a lot going on. But if Simon was to win USDGC, this is hypothetical, and I know you're a competitor, and I'm probably asking you a horrible question here, but would he be the player of the year in your mind?
Yes.
Okay.
In everyone's
definitely.
mind.
And yeah, exactly. I think basically there's and it all depends on the last 2 tournaments. If Paul won this USDGC and the Pro Tour Finals, he's the best player of the year.
Okay.
So it just and
Wow.
I'm not that I'm taking all weight off of it, but I think me and Simon are really close, and I think that depending on how it shakes out, I think the last 2 events are huge and they're the bigger events that we have. But yeah, I think if he wins this, then he's the best player in the world. I think if I win USDGC, I'm the best player in the world without a doubt.
Okay.
And I think same goes for Simon. So I think this is a big event, and I think that that's it's going to be exciting to see how it plays out.
No, definitely.
We're glad you came on. We have a stat or fiction game. Do you remember that? You've played it with us before?
I have not, but I'm excited. I'm trying it out with you guys right now.
I feel
Do it.
okay. Maybe we have it.
Maybe we haven't, Ricky, actually.
But
I don't think you had that game when I was on last time.
Okay. Before we get into it, it's presented by Statmano. But before we get into it, I thought of this. You did the $1 million shot at MVP Open. That was fun for the fans. I'm sure it was a new experience for you to throw for $1 million for one shot. Okay. You might make $1 million over the course of a season, but for one shot. I thought of this scenario today. What if Ricky Wysocki put up a challenge that said any official, you can actually figure it out and make sure it's real. Any player that's 920 rated or less beats me in a round gets $1 million. Man, I'd be down to try.
I volunteer as tribute.
Yeah, I'd be down to try.
Wow. Well, it depends on the course. Are we talking a
true
championship level course?
Maybe.
No, we gotta go pitch and putt like Maple Reds.
Maple Reds.
You gotta go Dinker.
Ricky,
That
me,
might
you,
be a
Maple
little
Reds.
scary.
Let's go.
Switch it out. We got someone in the background of him.
Josh.
That's
Yeah.
cool. Who's that?
That's Josh. He's not.
Get out of here.
No, yeah.
Are
Josh,
you with me?
hold on a second.
I'm like, what the
Hold
I don't
on.
know how to get him out.
Hold on. There's a way to do this.
We are Ricky. I'm sorry.
Josh,
we're
just
train
stand in the
wreck
center.
tonight. Josh is a guest later on.
Hold on.
While we're all
you're in my room or
laughing,
something.
while we're all laughing, and Matt's
why
figuring
can't
this
I do
out.
it? Why can't I do it? Hold on. I don't know why. I
Josh,
can't
leave
do
the
it.
stream. Yeah, just leave.
See you, Josh.
Oh, that's funny. How did
Rick
that
goes,
happen?
who's that?
He goes, "Are you with me?"
We got another one. Oh my goodness.
Okay.
No, I'm kidding.
All right. I found the button too late. He'll have to come back. I'll text him here. Long story short is that would be kind of fun and random. We just got wild there. I'm all lightheaded now from laughing.
Too much laughing.
Okay.
Who's that?
Let's go into stat or fiction.
So
Evan can lead it, and I'm gonna chat with him. Okay. Here we go. Bring in stat.
Stat or fiction, presented by Stat
All right. Okay. That's yet another moment. All right.
That's
Evan.
a classic Nick and Matt show moment right there. All right, so Ricky, stat or fiction? I'm going to say a stat, and you got to determine if it is true, as in it is a stat, or it is fiction, as in it is false, it is made up, it is not true. So to start us off, which this is going to be tough to rein this in with these guys over here. But Ricky, if you didn't know, Nick Carl, one of the co-hosts, took down an A tier in New Hampshire, winning by 11 strokes. So Nick Carl's 11-stroke win at the Hollows Fall Classic was a larger margin of victory than any of Ricky Wysocki's 8-tier or above wins.
Dude, this is the coolest thing I've ever heard.
I think that's fact.
So that's pretty much saying Ricky has never won a tier or above by 11 or more strokes.
Yeah, I think.
But
that's
I'll word it again as it is. Nick Carl's 11-stroke win at the Halls Fall Classic was a larger margin of victory than any of Ricky Wysocki's A tier or better wins.
Now, this is the first
I think
official
fact.
question, right?
Yes.
Or
Alright.
stat. Oh, so
Stat.
it's stat.
Stat.
Obviously, so it's stat. Yeah. So we all doing it?
Yes, I'm gonna say stat as well because
Well, Nick,
Ricky's
you
so
should know.
confident.
Well, no, you should know. If
Yeah.
I only
Oh,
said
that's
stat
true,
because
that's
you
true,
did.
yeah,
I was like,
that's
dang,
true.
if Ricky said stat, then I got to go by Ricky's.
11's a lot. That's a lot of strokes.
It was a good weekend.
Maybe in the running for best player of the year.
Stop.
I mean,
Yeah. Oh,
All right.
Yeah, my
just needling each other.
90th place finish at Ledgestone or something. There you go.
All right. So all stats there. The answer is indeed fiction.
no!
I got you guys. Ricky,
Oh
you're
my
selling
gosh,
yourself
what
short.
the heck?
I have you at 2 A-tier wins by 12 strokes, both in
What?
Pennsylvania, both in 2013. It was the Eric C. Yetter Champions Cup, which was an A-tier in September of 2013, and then before that was the Shoals Bicycle Centers. I think that's the Pittsburgh Flying Disc
Pittsburgh
Open.
Flying Disc Open, yeah.
Yes. In
Okay.
August of 2013 by 12 strokes. You also have a Euro Tour event over in Sweden, which was an A tier by 11 strokes, the same amount,
Wow.
which also qualifies as fiction. That was at the Twin Lake Annual in 2014.
Well,
Well,
all right.
now we know.
I shouldn't have gone off for Ricky's. I should have
I know,
gone with
but
my gut
I
and been
got
like
you guys.
fiction.
Watch
Yeah,
out.
smart.
Sabotage you.
Yeah. Now on this one, I'll go first, Matt, then Ricky, and last one, Matt, Ricky, me.
Yeah,
Don't
just because Ricky
sabotage
messed
it,
you up. Yeah. All right. So bringing in another comparison, Nick Carl earned $1,750 in his win. That's his highest of his career. That is true. Bringing to the stat or fiction is Ricky Wysocki has earned $1,750 or more at a total of 108 PDGA sanctioned events.
he's rich.
Yeah, right. Holy crap.
So,
I gotta go. Is it me first this
Yeah,
time?
you're
Yeah.
first.
I'll
yes.
go. I'll say stat on that one.
Well, how many wins does Rick have?
Dude, $1 billion.
No.
I think
So
I
it's
think
not-
right
it's not
around
necessarily-
there. I think right at 150, maybe something
Oh.
like that.
Yeah.
Yeah,
So,
it's-
dang.
Oh, I don't know why I'm helping you.
Yeah,
out.
Ricky, yeah. Ricky, you're literally
To be
sabotaging
clear-
yourself.
I'm
I
going.
could be
I'm going.
sabotaging you though.
Yep. I'm going
To
fiction.
be clear on the question though, it's not about wins, it's about a amount of events
the amount of money.
earning $1,750 or more
Oh,
in a
at
single
an
event.
event. Oh, dang it.
Yes.
I'm still saying fiction.
So
What
so
was
the
1,750.
yeah, you have earned $1,750 or more from a PDGA sanctioned event 108 times.
Probably stat.
All right. We got a stat.
Let's
This
go.
Yes.
is true. 108
Let's
total
go.
events.
Nick got it.
Nick has a total of 1 event. Nick, that's
Hey,
very
That's
impressive.
I am-
tournament.
I'm starting my streak right now.
All right.
Nick, these are all in fun.
1,000.
Yep, we chilling.
All
Hey,
right.
I have more cashes in a row than Chris Dickerson right now.
Let's go.
Ouch.
You got all these cool stats, huh?
Yep.
That's awesome.
All right. So, going back again, Nick Carl won an MPO event in New Hampshire. This is his 5th state that he has won a MPO event in the U.S. specifically. Nice. The stat or fiction is Ricky Wysocki is tied for the most different U.S. states with an MPO win with 30 total states. That's most out of anyone. Is kind of the question. So tied for the most different U.S. states with a MPO win with 30.
Wow. I've gotten them all wrong so far. I'm going to say stat.
So fade yourself, then you'll be good.
Yeah, exactly.
I'm just kidding. I'm going to go stat.
I'll say fiction.
Oh, for the win. One of you's winning.
Yeah.
Oh, man.
Oh, I think we are. One of us is going to get the win.
All right. This is a stat.
Oh,
yeah.
Ricky is
I had
tied
a
atop.
advantage on that one,
Yeah.
I feel like.
Well,
I was hoping someone like Schwebe or Schultz or someone like that just had that one
Came
more
in there and
state.
swooped it up, yeah.
Yep.
It is close. So Dave Felberg's also tied with 30. In MPO, I mean, Felberg's still slinging it, but I think he's playing a lot of age protected nowadays. Paul Uleberry's not far behind with 27 states with an MPO win. Nico Castro with 26, along with Barry Schultz, Avery Jenkins, and Paul McBeth with 25. Climo with 24.
Nice. That's awesome.
And I'm at
really
5.
Cool.
I'm away.
Nice, dude.
Nice.
Go to South Dakota and play some B tiers. You'll get
I'm down to South Dakota, North Dakota. I'm hit them in back-to-back weeks.
Let's go.
But just don't go in the winter.
No, heck no.
All right. So Ricky's definitely in the conversation now for like stat or fiction player of the year for sure. So.
Oh heck yeah, dude! That's a lot of pressure.
We're gonna have to go back and look and see what's going on with our stats because Statmando tracks that, like who's gotten the most right. So you're in it.
Okay.
You're in the conversation.
What's the record? 3 or 2?
The record. Well, per week, like I went 3-0 last week, so I got all 3 of them right. But throughout the course of the year, I think I have to be beating Matt by the.
You guys should have a tally with you guys.
We do.
Evan's got it somewhere. I don't know if it's.
I've had a tally.
Stat.
I've stopped for about the summer. It's been a busy year, but I got to get back on it.
But we have repeat like interviews, and we keep track of their wins too. So Rick, if you're that into winning all the time, we'll have to have you on another handful for the year, and we'll make that.
Like Dickerson.
I love it, dude.
I don't think Dickerson's lost when he's come on the show.
True.
Really? Wow. Okay, he's undefeated. All right. Well,
Missy Gannon was like 2 out of 3
really good.
Yeah, Big Money Missy was.
Yep.
But you know what it is, Evan.
Well, you probably asked questions about the players, so that's a little bit biased.
Not
always. Not always.
This one was a special Nick Wysocki combo. So
you're right. Exactly.
Ricky beat me at Tiki Disc Golf that we played last week during the MVP Open.
That was fun, dude.
Dude, that was a blast.
That was a lot of fun.
Yep.
Okay.
Yep.
I am, first of all, as unprofessional as we are sometimes, I professionally want to say I apologize for the random appearance behind you tonight. We found it funny, but because it was awkwardly, like laughing at a funeral or something, like I was just laughing uncontrollably. That will be a moment that lives in history of Nick and Matt show. And we thank you so much for being cool with that.
Thank you. Yeah, no problem. Thank you for. I'm sorry for having my alarm clock go off, but I just want to make sure I made the show and didn't. So we both got our apologies in.
There we go,
dude. It's all good. We're just happy the chat was loving it tonight. We'll be watching to see what happens. As you mentioned, we got. Is it going to be a barn burner? Hopefully, at USDGC. I mean, I want to see Ricky.
It always is. Always comes down to 17. Thanks,
I want to see Ricky, Simon, Paul
on here.
All right.
Yeah, say it.
I'll drop a quick stat. Ricky has finished top 5 at USDGC, each of the last 6 times he's played it. Only player to do it 6 times since 2015.
Wow. Okay, interesting. I didn't know that.
No pressure. Cool. No pressure.
All right, Ricky, go for it.
Right?
Yeah.
All right,
cool. That was great.
Ricky said he had opinions on something.
Did you?
Yeah, no, I just want to say thank you for letting me share my opinion.
Oh, yeah.
And always love, I'm not opposed to hearing the counter argument. I was just letting you, know my point of view from a player side, and yeah, thanks for letting me share that.
Oh,
Awesome.
absolutely. Thank you as always for coming on, dude. You're super easy to reach out to. I mean, I think we planned this last week, Matt, or something like that. You had you had this set up, so it's literally perfect. But anyways, best of luck to you at USDGC. Appreciate it once again, and we'll catch you sometime soon.
Thanks, guys. Enjoy the
Peace
show.
out. All right,
Appreciate
have a good one.
Peace.
All right, Josh, come back on.
So no, that's on delay. I already sent him a message. So we have to at least address that little bit of a debacle because I've done that a few times. The worst one was when I invited on a guest that I thought was someone else.
Yes, that was awesome.
That by far trumps this.
That's awesome.
Like,
who was that?
I was like, "Hey, what's up, Tyler?" And
that's
like,
right. I wasn't there.
I was like,
Yeah.
he's like, "This isn't who you think it is." And I'm like, "What? Who are you?" And then this scenario, I'm looking at the screen and I see. We'll bring it. I think we can already bring him in.
Yeah,
go ahead and the 4 up.
4 up.
4 up as long as we go, not Ricky name.
Oh.
Put up the other name.
Ricky.
There's Josh.
Josh.
Yeah.
Yeah,
you gotta unmute.
You are allowed to
unmute
come
him.
in now.
There we go.
Now we
now.
can hear
I
you,
was not
and
expecting
now we
you
can
this
see you.
soon.
Yeah.
So, what was that like for you from your perspective?
I mean, honestly, it was a dream come true. I always wanted to be that close.
You know
To
what's
Ricky.
weird?
It was like his eyeball.
Hold on. But
top
you
of
know
Rick.
what's weird? Ben, go to your full camera up for a second. Your full. Who's behind you? Did you somehow like do this Freudian slip with video production tonight because you planned out like Evan being behind you?
Yeah, no.
And then like, okay, go back to 4
I
up.
think Josh just messed us all up, honestly.
So, for anybody who cares about anything tech, we have our videos layered and our guest videos layered. I may change that in the future now. Ricky was in vertical mode, like with his phone. So the rest of the like 60% of the video is like transparent. And so when Josh came up in horizontal, like Josh is like fills the background
His
and
eyeball.
we're like scrambling to not boot him, but also like clip his video. Super funny moment for us. We're definitely clipping it. We're going to make it go viral. It lives up to almost like Hannah walking into your room and pulling the rug out. Like, that was funny too.
Yep.
Oh, that's
All
another
these
good
moments.
one.
Yep.
So Josh is here from Overthrow. Why? What do you do at Overthrow mainly? Like, what's your like main thing? Your elevator speech? What are you doing there?
I coach.
Okay, you help get
Nice.
you help people get better at what they want to do.
Yep. I look mostly at form, but I coach every aspect of the game. Anyone from new. Those are some of my favorites to like trying to make it on tour.
You reviewed my
And
form
maybe
once,
some touring players here in the upcoming future.
right, Josh? You reviewed intern Ben form once. I sent the submission.
I did, and I'm pretty sure intern Ben went on to win his next 2 events after that.
I did. I did.
Okay,
So thanks for teaming me up on that one, brother.
yeah, that's right. We brought you in because we thought it would be fun to have somebody who's so into like analyzing people and how to help them get better. But we're going to kind of flip the table a little bit. We're going to do judging as opposed to helping. and we're going to bring back the segment, Judge That Disc Golfer. Ben, can you cue it up? Let's take it away.
Judge That Disc Golfer, the game show where you judge a disc golfer you've never met.
All right. Wow. Look like that. We didn't even give him a heads up, but here he is in the show. We have a guest that volunteered to be judged tonight for his disc golf game. And so we have never met before. And so with that being said, let me go ahead and ask, sir, what is your name? Mine is Matt.
What's up, Matt? My name is Colin, but everybody here calls me Taco.
All right. What's up, Taco?
What's up, brother?
Nice.
This is interesting. You were the second person tonight who reached out to us and wanted to be on who had Taco in their username somehow. So it's a thing.
It might have been me.
Another Taco. So
Stuff in the ballot.
we had a significant response to people who wanted to be judged on tonight's episode. And so I had to filter through. We're going back and forth. We're refining it down. To be honest, we want interesting responses when we're chatting with you in the chats because we don't want someone who just answers in such a boring way, right? No pressure. Taco. So I saw Taco in your name and I said, I got to ask, what's his favorite food? And he says, coffee cake. And I knew from that moment that he was the man for our show. So his favorite food is coffee cake, and his favorite number. Man. I can't say the favorite number. It might give away something for later. But let's go ahead and get into the segment, Judge That Disc Golfer. And as part of Judge That Disc Golfer, you've seen this segment before?
Oh, of course, yeah.
Okay. How long have you been watching, if you had to guess, or listening?
Oh, very beginning, man.
Really?
Nice. Appreciate it.
Oh, yeah.
So you knew this was a staple of the Nick and Matt show from almost the first episodes. Awesome. So we got your name. We're going to call you Taco, if that's cool.
Let's go. Game on.
All right. So where are you from? It looks like I'm seeing palm trees behind you.
Yeah, I live in York, PA, but I'm in San Diego right now for some work.
Nice.
Okay. San Diego from Pennsylvania.
Yeah.
That's a good deal.
Do you mind if we ask what you do for work?
I'm a drone pilot full time.
Oh, okay.
That's friggin' awesome.
I was taking classes to get my license. I've never followed through with the license, but I love drones myself, so that's
you
interesting.
You got to get it, man. It's fun. It's
so what kind of drone footage are you doing?
I work with production companies to make film and TV commercials and films and stuff. Having fun.
Nice. Is there like a major company that you've worked for that we would know the name of, or is it?
I've done a bit for Under Armour. I've had some footage sell for Apple, Verizon, some of those companies.
There you go. Yeah, I've heard of all three of those, so that's pretty awesome.
I've heard
Awesome job, dude. That's fantastic. So, just simply a yes or no. Are you a member of the PDGA?
Yes.
Okay. Go ahead, and if you have a rating, I'm assuming you've played an event or two. Do you have a player rating?
I believe last time I checked, it's been a while since I've competed. 933, I think I'm at. Okay.
There. You and me right now are at the same skill level. We'd probably shoot about exactly
we got
the
a
same.
jam, man.
Heck yeah.
And I'm sure we're both not super proud of that rating, but that's where we are.
That's right, man.
The reality. So this is the very first non-scored question we're going to ask. So just hold back for a second. I'm going to ask a question. You can think about it. We're not actually going to award points for this. This is just a trial here. So is Taco's PDGA number higher or lower than 100,000?
Higher.
Okay, he says higher. I say we don't know how long he's played for. We don't want to know that yet. This is just us judging based off of what he said already. I'm going to say lower. Ooh, but that's probably not accurate. Josh.
Lower.
Evan.
Definitely lower, but over 80,000.
Okay.
I don't know.
Dude,
what is it? 80,000? Yeah.
80.
He's going to be just over like 104,000 or something. Okay, what do you got, Taco?
I am PDGA number 58287.
Wow. A pretty low one, actually.
So you were about 10,000 after me. So I'm 48402.
Yeah.
So like, okay, we're similar rating, similar time period.
Nice.
So you've been playing.
Brent said lower.
I said lower. Yeah.
So you've been playing approximately. Well, I don't know if you got it right when you started or after, but you've been playing in the range of probably
Correct.
10 years or so, maybe give or take.
I've been playing a little bit over that, but got my number during about 10 years ago. Yeah.
Okay. All right. You play tournaments, but not often. It sounds like. When was like your last tournament?
Last tournament will probably be this past spring. I just really started competing after playing for 15 years. Last 2 years started competing.
Nice.
Okay. What do you have any notable finishes for yourself, and what division?
I had 2 wins in MA2, and then I just moved up to MA1 to start competing there.
Okay. If you had to pick your local course, just a favorite of yours that you would go play most often, like what are you shooting on average? Yep. Under par or over par?
I'll shoot just under par, about 2 to 6 under par, depending on how good you're playing that day, right?
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm. If you've probably watched like MVP Open footage at some point, Maple Hill
Sure.
Golds, or pick any Elite Series gold layout. Like, what are you probably shooting on that?
Oh, gold! I'm going to shoot like 10 to 15 over there, probably.
Okay, that sounds
Those are
right.
tough courses, man. That's a tough course.
That sounds right. Again, I could probably answer these. I'm gonna have an advantage tonight, Nick. He's
right.
he's me in the
Similar
disc
to
golf
your
world.
style.
I'm honest, man. I'm honest.
Thank you.
Do you have a favorite disc golf professional? Do you follow the tour scene, and like, do you have a favorite that you like to follow and cheer for?
I'm a disc golf obsessed man. You can ask my wife. I'm obsessed with disc golf. Don't miss a tournament. Don't miss a weekend. I've been a Paul McBeth fan since I started playing and he started competing a long time ago. But
okay,
yeah, I really enjoyed watching Simon play as well this past couple years.
Heck yeah.
Okay, and we're still getting to know you a little bit. We already know about drone piloting. Did that start out as a hobby for you?
I was doing videography work. I was working for a Christian camp, doing full-time videography there. Started doing other videos for corporate work. And then once I saw drones on YouTube for the first time in about 2014, I said, that's what I want to do with my life. So started a business and just got rolling with that. And, 8 years later, been blessed to be able to do a lot of cool stuff all over the world.
Can I ask
cool.
this? I don't know. It's a money question, but like, how much are your drones costing that you're flying? I mean, I know there's a very large range. Like, what's the most expensive drone you've ever flown?
Range. I have a drone package that's about 20 grand, and then I also have drone packages that are about 1,000. So
okay. Yeah, I find myself watching that on YouTube when they're flying these like $100,000 cameras over like a Lambo or something going down the road. It's incredible, but okay. Besides drone piloting, what's a hobby that you have besides disc golf?
Besides disc golf, good question, man.
What do you do?
Like board games.
Okay.
Board games.
Okay.
Board games are fun. I just like any sports, man. I'm a huge sports fan. Love playing all kinds of sports, unique sports, spike ball, that kind of stuff.
Nice.
Okay. So don't give me a number yet, but go ahead and answer this. Have you ever measured the distance of your throws? So don't give the number, but have you ever measured the distance of your throws?
Oh, of course, right?
Okay. If so you said yes. I'm reading my questions here. How do you measure it? How do you measure it? And was it on flat ground? Do you remember the times?
I use a couple of different apps. Yeah, there's the UDisc app, of course, and then there's a couple other apps I'll use as far as like just measuring by feet. You can use. Okay.
We've gotten to the point in the show where we're gonna have you not answer out loud right away because we have to guess, but we're gonna ask you the question. Or we're going to ask him the question, Josh, Evan, Nick, and even intern Ben gets to chat in this one. How far can you throw a disc, Taco? All right, Nick, what's he going to... Oh, you got your answer in your head there, Taco?
Sure. Is this max flight or is this an average long drive?
We say this every time, and here's the answer every time. In this scenario, it's your decision what that means when I say how far can you throw. Because that's part of our game is we're going to say, what's he going to answer? So you just decide, what do you think when I say how far? Okay, Nick?
Got it.
That's part of the game. You got to figure out, is he going to say max or is he going to say casual?
I think he's going to say 420 feet.
Okay. Nick's judging you to throw 420. Wow, okay. I am going to go with 385. All right, Josh, you're up.
Oh, brutal. You're so close to my answer. I think he's going to answer golf line, and I think it's going to be 375.
Ooh, he's taking the under. Evan, what do you got?
I agree with both of you. I think Taco's a modest guy. He's going to say kind of his lower average. He can bomb for sure. I had 375 in my mind too, but I'll play the game and go 355.
Okay, so
all right.
And then intern Ben, he doesn't get any points, but he gets to play.
This is in my head the whole time. I was going to say 350. But with a little work with Josh from Overthrow, maybe 400, but 350.
Come on, baby. If he says 400, I win it. All right. Hopefully you locked in your answer, Taco. What is your answer?
Sure. I actually think I'm a better coach as well than player, but I'm a gunslinger, man. I can max out at 525.
Whoa!
Let's go! I'm pumped for this guy, even though I'm wrong.
Quick, pick up a disc. Have someone hold your camera.
No, I wish I had one.
Of course he doesn't have one, but that is a...
So you went max line.
I got to verify this.
And that is your answer was based off of your max drive in an open field or something.
open field max drive. I can hit that.
Okay.
Get a little bit of wind in there. I can push it over that, but I can hit that.
All right.
You know what? Matt was selling us up about how this guy's just like Matt. They're the same player. And poof, Matt's never thrown 400 in his life, so I was thinking
It's
wrong.
a little bit bigger than Matt.
The difference is he throws far. I don't. We're gonna get to the putting questions in a minute, so I don't want to give anything away. But like when it comes to putting, like I tend to excel. So okay.
Hey Benny, let me get that point and make sure everyone else is at zero because that first
that was
question earlier was a
that was just a
funsy.
warm up.
Oh, it was a funsy?
Yeah,
I'm the only one with a point right now.
Okay.
Unfortunately, what a curveball.
Whoa.
Here we go. Second question. If your average disc golf round was described by using the names of candy, what would it be? Your average disc golf round. So you go out, you said you play your average round at your local course. Are we going to describe that as, or are you going to describe that as hot tamales, rocky road, Laffy Taffy, Mr. Goodbar, or payday? I can read those again if you'd like, and you can lock it in. Your average round.
Give me again.
Your average disc golf round was described using candy. Would it be hot tamales, rocky road, Laffy Taffy, Mr. Goodbar, or payday? Okay, he's got one, or he's gonna get one. All right, I'm gonna start, and I feel like this is easy. This is nailing the coffin. It's Mr. Goodbar. All right, here we go. Josh, you're up.
Rocky Road.
Rocky Road. Evan, what do you got?
I'm going Laffy Taffy just because I have a sweet spot for it, specifically the bananas.
Laffy Taffy candy.
Those have the worst aftertaste.
Nick Carl, what candies you choosing?
Wrong.
My dude's going payday because when he goes and plays tournaments, he gets paid.
All right. And then intern Ben?
I was going to say good bar as well.
Mr. Goodbar. All right, I hope he locked in Mr. Goodbar. What's your answer, Taco?
Dude, it's actually it's gonna be Laffy Taffy, not for the taste of it, taste, but I love having fun, man. I love this game, and we usually have a really good time when we're out playing, so lots of laughs.
His name is Taco, guys. It was easy as can be.
Taco, Laffy Taffy, and I don't see the correlation, but we're gonna give it to you, Evan.
You don't love this.
Give it to you.
You don't love this game enough. You have 0 posts on your Instagram of you throwing. Come on, I'm trying to see that 525.
They're probably hidden in there. They're way back there.
I see nothing.
Are you on his Instagram?
I'm trying to see this man sling.
All right, intern Ben's cheating, but he doesn't get points.
Disc golf form check.
Disc golf form check. Okay, here we go. If you were ready to hit the tour, like the pro tour, what brand? He is ready. I think he is ready. But what brand would you choose as your main sponsor? Now, for clarity purposes, the monetary value of the sponsorships are all equal. So we aren't talking like any difference in value, okay? So it's just the brand itself that matters in this question. Would you choose Nike, McDonald's, Red Bull, or Planet Fitness? So once again, Nike to sponsor you, is that your thing? McDonald's, Red Bull, or Planet Fitness? Josh from Overthrow Disc Golf, you're up first.
I'm going Nike.
Okay, Evan.
My man practically works for Under Armour. He ain't doing that. I'm going Red Bull.
Red Bull. Oh, Nick, you're up.
Well, give me the 4 again really quick.
Nike, McDonald's, Red Bull, or Planet Fitness?
I wanted to say Red Bull, so I'm going to go Red Bull as well. Are we allowed to do the same?
Yeah, for sure.
Should I go different?
No,
Let's
you
make it
can-
interesting.
no,
Let's make
you
it
can do the
interesting.
same.
No,
Everyone does different.
we can
No,
lead together, Nick.
All right,
That's
fine.
okay with me.
I'm
It'll be 2-0.
thinking Red Bull. I'm thinking Red Bull.
Dang, I am struggling, guys. I just want to say, I
Sounds like you need a Red Bull.
have to. I do actually. I have to envision him like the way that I don't even know him. I just have to envision him. He's a Planet Fitness guy. All right, intern Ben.
I was gonna say Red Bull off the cuff.
All the Red Bulls.
Nike was my second choice.
Nike was my second choice. All right,
Nike for sure.
All right, Taco, what is it?
Dude, Red Bull gives you wings,
Yeah.
baby.
Go, baby.
Let's
Wow.
go.
Wait.
Extreme sport.
Let's go. I was gonna say, yeah, he was
Dude,
talking about
this
how he
man-
loves like
Wait, who else said Red Bull?
me and
Dude,
Evan.
he said
Okay.
spike ball and
Yeah, he said-
all those. What other sports? That's Red Bull City.
That's red facts.
All right. If you
I like it. So
Yes.
before you like finished asking that question, you're like, what company would you want to be sponsored by? I love how our chat all
Yeah,
just went straight to like
Innova,
disc grabbed, Innova, disc grab, and then they're just like, oh, Nike. Like,
Yeah, I gotta listen to the full question. Okay. Here we go. I have 0 points, and so does Josh. Wow. This is the
Hey, I'm
game I
trash.
invented. Here we go. He's better at looking at form than just being mean to some. No, I'm kidding. We're not being mean. We're judging. If you were to choose unfavorable weather, this goes way back, Taco. You remember this from our early episodes. If you were to choose unfavorable weather for a tournament round, what do you choose? And this could be your next tournament round. So you got to go into it, and it's going to be raining. And when we say rain, it's significant. It's hard to stay dry. Okay, it's raining. Snow, where it's actually accumulating on the ground as you play, and not just a nice dusting. It's a storm. It's a snow. It's snowing hard. Okay, and then wind. We're talking like MVP Open the first rounds. It was 25-mile-an-hour plus. Okay, so windy rounds. Which type of weather do you choose for your next tournament round? And I think, does Josh go first here, or is it Evan? It might be Evan.
I think I just went first.
Okay,
Yeah, I think it's
Evan.
Evan.
I think
you're
it's me. I mean, Duke can bomb. I'm going wind. He'll just throw right through it.
up. You've been right so far. Nick,
Yeah.
what do you think?
that was actually a really good answer. Also, Ryan Travis said, oh no, someone else said it, because I want to say Adam said, he said Red Bull gives you wings. He flies drones. Done deal. So that was also kind of, I don't know, it was just kind of funny. Anyways, I'm going to say my boy likes to play in the rain.
Just because you hate wind that much doesn't
Dude,
mean
I hate
others
the
do.
wind. I don't know how anyone likes to play in the wind. I don't know
I
how anyone likes it.
hate the rain. So we all choose by what we'd prefer, but I have to pick for him. And I feel like he's going to say wind as well. I think most people hate the rain, and he's not down for the snow. All right, Josh.
Hey, how many questions are left?
2 with a tiebreaker for
Not
me.
enough.
So I have to go something
You have to go
different
2
than
for
Nick.
2 right now. Yeah,
No,
Dang it.
no.
Okay, so I
If
gotta
you
go
get-
snow.
no, if you get
Although
this
I
one-
think it's
yeah.
rain.
Okay, he says rain.
Wait.
No,
he
I'm
said
going snow.
Oh, he's going snow.
He's playing the Steve Falco rule. I'm going snow as well.
I've got to get points over someone.
Snow.
Good point, actually. That is a
He
good
lives
point.
in PA. He loves the snow.
No, there's not that much snow in Pennsylvania.
Yes, there is.
All right,
Tell us,
depends.
Taco.
He's sitting in a beach right now. I can't just
This is for
picture
work.
snow.
Okay,
He's gonna
Taco,
say
what's your
so.
answer?
Yeah, but still, it's too hard.
Dude, I have skipped tournaments because it snowed the day before. I will not play in the snow. I hate playing in the wind. I've won in the rain. I'm going to play in the rain.
Let's go, baby.
My
Let's go.
goodness.
No.
Nick is coming out hot. This is your weekend, man.
I guess so.
He wins by 11 strokes. He's going to win by
Nick, me
5
and you, man.
strokes.
Yep, we and you, we chilling, bro. I wish I was out in San Diego. I'll tell you that much.
Let's go, Balboa Park. Let's play.
Sounds good.
All right, I'm going to have to make the last
I just made
points worth more.
1,700. I'm buying my plane ticket, which I don't even know if that's enough, but going to San Diego.
It's definitely no.
Okay. So the reality is, unless I make the last points worth more, which we have done before, but let's just keep going here. How many putts, if I was to give you a stack of 10 putters, would you hit from circle's edge? No extenuating circumstances, no wind, no pressure on the line. It's just, here's 10 putters, circle's edge, no jump putts. How many go in? And this is Nick's to answer first. What's he going to say? He can throw far.
Realistically,
Judge him.
I'm going to say 6 out of 10.
Okay. I am going to say, man, you picked the perfect number.
I know. 7's the only one that's better, I think.
I
But
know, but 6 could be right. So I'm going to say, can we all say 6?
you can say 6. You can't beat me, so you can,
you can
say
say 6
whatever
and
you
lose.
want. Evan's the only one I'm worried about.
I'm going to try to nail it. I hope you've locked it in. I'm going to say 6. It was a good answer. Josh.
2.
Oh, whoa!
Oh man, I'm
Whoa.
going 5.
I'm going. I'm a taco believer. I know you put that sauce on your tacos. You know it makes it zesty. I'm going 7.
All right. So we need the answer, Taco.
That
What
made
is
no
it?
sense.
Dude, I throw for dough. I don't putt for anything, man. I'm gonna hit 5. I'm gonna hit 5 out of 10.
Let's go. Take that, Duke.
5.
Dude.
What did you guess?
I guess 5.
Did you really? Oh, for some reason, I thought you
Yes.
said 7 as well. Dang, good answer. You know, I almost said 5 too.
Me too.
I was leaning
Yeah.
towards 5, but I literally went to 6 because in my mind, I'm like, I was thinking of his rating, and I'm like,
Yeah.
I feel like 930, like you gotta hit more than 5 from circle's edge, but maybe not.
But
You'd think
Taco,
that.
100 putts a
the
day.
thing is,
Let's
he
go.
throws like
Come on,
500
man.
feet.
Oh, it's true. He's making up strokes on
So
his
he's got to
distance.
miss a bunch of them.
Yeah, that's true. That's true. It goes the other way. All right. So I'm skunked so far, and so is Josh. We're playing for last cash, or no, did not finish dead last place or whatever.
I wouldn't even say honorable mention.
We'll have you back. All right. Here we go. This is technically to break a tie right now. If you were to get a disc golf, do you have any tattoos that you care to tell us about?
I don't have any tattoos, no.
Okay. So whether or not you want to get a tattoo doesn't matter in this scenario. If you were to get a tattoo, that's where we're going. What would it be? Would it be a single basket? Pretty simple in nature, just a basket saying, here you are. Doink putt. So it's illustrating a basket with a putter hitting the front rim.
Too soon.
Cartoon Tasmanian Devil. Spinning around, throwing a 360 drive. Tasmanian Devil, it goes back a long time. I don't know how old you are, but when I was a kid, that was a thing.
Yeah, I see a lot.
Intern Ben, do you know it now?
What?
Tasmanian Devil?
No. So I own a fishing store. Everyone knows, but the amount of old men I see with the Tasmanian Devil tattoo is insane.
Yeah.
Okay. Or a disc golf phrase like grip it and rip it, or death putt, meaning like it can be any disc golf phrase that maybe you thought up. It'll be like, it's just that style of tattoo. It's a phrase. Okay. So you're going to do the single basket, the doink putt, the Tasmanian Devil, or disc golf phrase. Lock it in your head once you have an idea. Let us know. Got it. All right. Is that me answering first?
Oh, is this the tiebreaker?
No.
Or is this the last question?
This is the last question.
Oh, okay. All right.
I'm going to say...
Wait, hold on. Don't say anything yet. Evan, do you have your answer?
I have my answer.
You have your answer? All right. I'm going to write mine down so I don't change it for any reason. Because you and I are playing for each other.
Oh, man.
Dang it. He's been surprising me with all of his answers. I mean, Red Bull and all this other stuff. Is it unfair for me to ask how old he is? How old are you,
33.
Taco?
I'm 33. Give him a point.
No
He's
way.
freaking out.
Well, yeah, you were staring at his Instagram.
Okay, I wasn't like.
Yeah, right. The first picture is 33rd birthday party.
I was trying to look for disc golf videos.
Oh, you got a stalker and Ben now. Okay, so that's excellent. It's like you should go to the fair. You know the carnivals where they'll like guess people's ages?
Yeah.
All right.
Oh my goodness.
You can make some money. All right. 33. Probably barely would remember Taz, but if he thinks it's cool now, that's a thing. But I'm going to go... I just feel like... I don't want to say you're a simple guy. I think you're a clean guy, and just single basket is what I'm thinking comes to mind. No tattoos. I'm going single basket. What do you got, Josh?
That was going to be mine. But I have to... I'm kind of an all-in kind of guy. So I guess he's going to go with some kind of simple phrase that he makes up.
Okay, that he makes up. That'd be for bonus points. Okay.
Well, I think if he did a basket, he'd try to make it as close to a cross as possible.
Ooh, you have read into him. He's talked a few things about that. All right, Evan, what do you got?
All right. I mean, part of me wants to say he's going to get a phrase with 525 right on his pec, but I'm just kidding.
I think, man, I got to gloat.
Is that going to show up?
Nope.
Oh, no, it's not.
Is it
I did it in
Oh, it's a
pencil.
basket.
It's a single basket.
Okay.
I'm just going to show Matt mine just so he sees it. It's the bottom one. It's the lower letters.
Okay, it says...
Taz Devil.
I'm just going to make up something. Yes, Tasmanian Devil. Okay, so I've guessed, everyone's guessed except intern Ben. He guessed the age, but what do you think for tattoo?
He's a fun guy. I'm going to go with the doink. He's a doinker.
After we talked about the putts, maybe, but all right, what do you think? Taco, what do you got?
Dude, I love this game. I'm pretty crazy, pretty out there. Love doing crazy stuff, but I think for a tattoo, I'm going simple, man. I can get a basket.
I'm not last.
My guy,
Guys,
you failed
having a
me,
good
Taco.
I have never won Judge That Disc Golfer. I'm like notoriously bad at this game.
Oh.
I just picked up my first W over Nick Carl, who's won an A tier. Oh,
Wait,
this is a moment.
maybe you were stalking him, Kearns. Come on now.
Okay. So Evan wins, but I want to do just one bonus question just for the fun of it. Like we did an intro question. Let's do an outro question. Think of your most recent tournament performance. When was that?
Sure.
How far ago was that? How long ago was that?
This spring, early spring.
Okay, don't tell us how it went because you're going to use something else to describe it. If you were to use a band to describe your most recent tournament performance, would it be described by the band Red Hot Chili Peppers, Disturbed, Fall Out Boy, or No Doubt? So, would it be Red Hot Chili Peppers, Disturbed, Fall Out Boy, or No Doubt? All right, I'll just start it off. I'm going to say Disturbed. What do you think, Josh?
I don't know. I feel like he doesn't get his wins like overwhelming, and all those are like pretty solid, except for Disturbed. I'll go Red Hot Chili Peppers.
Evan.
I think instead of Fallout Boy, I'm feeling Spit Out Boy. I'm just kidding, but I do think it's Fallout Boy.
All right.
What was the other one? No Doubt.
Yeah, No Doubt.
I'll go with No Doubt just because no one else picked it.
No Doubt.
Yeah.
What's up?
No Doubt.
Uh-oh.
Intern Ben.
I'm gonna have to go with Red Hot Chili Peppers. It seems like you might have played a thing called the Strip Down Open or something and got second place in MA2. So that I'm just getting that vibe off of you. So I'm going Red Hot Chili Pepper.
All right. What do you have
You
as your
just have that-
answer?
That's a great guess, intern Ben. I did play that tournament. I don't know how you knew, man.
What a
2
legend!
holes to play. I was up by three with 2 holes to play, and lost by 2 strokes. So Fallout Boy, it is.
Oh,
Let's go,
I thought
Evan.
you were gonna be gassed about it.
Go, Evan.
Evan slaying.
my second guess was Red Hot Chili Peppers, just because Californication. Where is he?
Okay.
It speaks for itself.
Yeah, but he's working. He's not on vacation.
But yeah,
It's
it's
all
not his
work,
most
man.
recent
It's all
tournament.
work.
But there's so much to draw from.
The honorable mentions for bands, by the way, you could describe your rounds with would be Coldplay, Journey,
Yeah.
Tom Petty and the Heartbreakers, and Rush. I'm just going to get through my round. I'm rushing. So
I
anyways,
think they're all probably playing that night.
they're all playing that night.
That night.
They're all playing that night.
There you go.
Nick's next tournament, like recap post that you do, has to use one of these bands.
One of the bands.
Just all of them, actually. Be like, dude, it was just like a tournament for Fallout Boy.
Mine
'cause
just would've
I
been No
loved
Doubt
Rush. Yeah,
this
No
week.
Doubt, yeah. Red Hot Chili Peppers.
Yeah.
All right. Taco, anything you want to say before we let you go? It's your time on our show. We're exceptionally happy that you came on and you reached out to say you'd be a judged guest. Oh, what do you got, Josh?
Yeah.
I just want to know what your play consists of. You throw 525 and you're 936 rated. So do you like not have a forehand, or your approach shot's just not there? Like, what is holding you back from glory?
Just started competing in the past year, and it was the putt. It was the putt until about 3 months ago over the summer when I reworked it. So look out for me in the next couple of years because the putt is fixed.
Let's
All
go.
right.
The putt
Let's
is
go.
fixed, baby.
And if you do go on tour, no, if you're out there and we see you
A
showing
little
up,
old for that.
the Nick and Matt show found you, okay?
You have
Yeah,
our full
yeah.
support.
Yeah, for sure. We'll bring you on for an interview. Anyways, thank you very much. Anything you want to say before we let you go?
Oh, guys, thanks for having me on. I love disc golf. Love the content you guys are making. I think it's super important for the sport. So stoked to see where disc golf's going to be in 5 years when it's on national television. And you guys are trudging the way, man. Keep going.
We love you.
Heck
Yeah, we really appreciate that. And
For real.
now I've got a contact for all my drone flying experience. I need to reach out.
Oh, come on. Call me up, man. You got my number.
Heck yeah, dude.
Very
That's
cool.
sick.
I
Thank you,
appreciate
Taco,
it.
for coming on tonight. You were literally the perfect guest we could have asked
Yes,
for.
good job,
Matt
man.
was like,
guys.
Good
Matt
job,
was like,
Matt.
I'm just randomly
Screening.
picking someone tonight, and we're just like, oh god.
No, Matt screened. He grinded.
Yeah.
I saw the messages.
In all seriousness, yeah, we got inundated, and I'm like, how do I pick? So, like, I asked you what your favorite food was, and
Coffee
you said
cake.
coffee cake. I'll remember that.
I
so.
saw it too.
Have me on anytime, man. Have me on anytime. I love it.
Sweet.
All right.
Appreciate it, dude.
Peace out, man.
See you guys.
Peace.
All right, Josh, you're still here with us. We're going to let you sit around for a little bit if you want to, or you can take off. Which would you rather? Oh,
He's frozen.
He's there. He is.
did he do the Ricky Wysocki? He did the Ricky Wysocki.
Oh yeah, he's muted.
Josh?
You did the Ricky Wysocki. You're mute, like as in like
Oh,
you're gonna have to
man.
close out and come back.
Close out the link and then come
No,
back.
He really Saki
Yeah,
bombed
No,
he
we
this,
can't hear you.
Yeah.
this
Okay.
appearance.
That's really interesting little glitch that has when they close out and come back. It does that. Okay. That was fun. It was a different night for us. We don't have that every week. That is more of our
It's been a
casual
nice
night.
chill night
hmm So let's do
with
this.
an interview too.
Yeah, with an interview
With
too.
an awesome.
The interview was crazy. It was absolutely crazy.
Okay.
Yes, you're back. I don't know what's up with that.
Sick.
Did your alarm go off too, or was it notification, or what was that? Nothing.
No, I actually silenced all my notifications.
I saw your phone, like it was going like white, as in like you weren't here, and then it would pop back up. So I'm not sure what was causing that, but okay. Let's make this a simple. Do you want to stick around for the last bit of the show, Josh, or you got somewhere?
Yeah,
to be?
brother.
Okay.
Absolutely.
All right. By the way, everyone, I'm sure everybody that listens here is already subscribed over there. But if you're not, go check out Overthrow. I just told my wife 2 days ago, like, my boys better be watching this YouTube channel because they need to get better. But in all seriousness, go subscribe over there, everyone. That's you in the chat, right? You're often in the chat talking. And chatting.
Yeah.
Okay. So he's a fan of the Nick and Matt show, and we are a fan of
True
theirs.
fan.
My man.
All right. So these are some of the topics to close out with. Ricky already talked about it, and I put him. It wasn't a big spot to put him, but like, hey, if Simon wins USDGC, like, is he the player of the year? And he said, yep. And he even said, if Paul wins, I'll have to go back and listen. Did he say yes, Paul would be, or he's like, hey, now he's in the conversation?
No, I think he said it.
No, he did
when he
say.
when he
Okay.
talks about Paul, he said USDGC and Pro Tour Championships. So I'm
I'll have to
curious
look
if
at that back.
maybe
I'll have to look at that back. But the point is, there's a storyline for whoever wins. So we can kind of go around here, round robin a little bit, and just say, in your mind, in Statmando, we don't need all the stats, okay? In your mind, I know it's hard to do. If Paul wins, is he player of the year? I'm only saying for USDGC. I'm not talking about both. We're just talking USDGC. Is Paul player of the year if he wins USDGC? We'll start with you, Evan.
Yes, I think so.
All right.
And
Nope.
No.
That's
that's
it.
all I'm allowed to answer.
Nope. That's it. Evan's like, come on, please.
He's like, let me
talk
pull
the
up my
truth.
Did you check out? You checked out Alden Harris vlogs where Gannon Burr like impersonated you?
Yeah, of course I thought it was hilarious.
It's
yeah,
so
thanks
funny.
Ben for doing it.
So, anyways, that's what I'm imagining now. You're sitting there and you're like just wanting to like type into the screen. Okay.
It's not far off. Yeah.
I mentioned it last week, everybody. Go check that out. Alden Harris vlogs. They recommended people check us out. We're doing the same for them, but they did an in-studio mock, like their own show, and it was pretty funny. Okay. So Nick, what do you say? Yes or no?
Absolutely not. I'm just kidding. Yeah. Yeah.
Clip it. You said it just enough. I can clip it and send
You know,
it to Paul.
someone would literally clip it and like that's where they would stop it. But yeah, I think if he wins USDGC, absolutely.
Okay, I agree. I don't think it's like a landslide, but I think it is.
No, I think there's a ton of people having incredible years this year.
Okay, if Ricky wins, sorry, Josh, you're a part of this conversation.
I'm with you. If Paul wins, I think he's the best player this year.
Can I modify the question slightly? Is it only a win that does that? If somehow, some way, Ricky and Simon place out of top 30 or 20, and Paul's like fourth or second, does that change anything for you? Let's go second. He doesn't win, but he played it into a playoff and he lost. Like, does that change it? What do you think, Evan?
Can we bring the Tour Championship into this conversation?
No.
Or are we still pretending that doesn't exist?
Doesn't exist.
We're not, because I want to get there when we get there. I'm talking the scenario
Yeah.
to the point of USDGC. Like, what would we say after that?
I say no, Paul is not leading. I would still have Ricky as the best player this year if none of them win, even
Okay.
if Paul finishes second.
Paul goes to the playoff, though. He made a statement, man. I'm there. I just didn't pull it
Yeah.
off. But
Doesn't-
they
doesn't
placed
win.
outside top 30. Okay,
Paul's going to feel the same way too. He didn't win.
true. Do we all agree with that? Anybody disagree? You feel like, no, that'd be a big enough statement?
I think there'd be more of an argument,
Yes,
I want to say.
I'd say I disagree, but yeah,
Because I also think,
Yep.
like, Ricky's obviously had a very consistent year. He won the the Pro Tour points. But, I mean, it literally came down to the 18th hole at MVP Open. It's not like Paul's having an inconsistent year in one Worlds. You know, he still
He
has
just doesn't have as many wins.
as many. Yeah, exactly.
So what
But
if
he's-
Simon, can I flip this a little bit? Exact same scenario, but it's Simon who goes to the playoff, gets second place, and Paul and Ricky place outside of top 20. does Simon get now the lead for that?
I think that's
Evan's typing.
a bigger argument.
I'm looking up Simon's USDGC. That's so hard to say. First of all,
I'm just saying, like, I'm giving scenarios where, like, there are possibilities.
Matt is the biggest fan of what ifs.
There's
in
possibilities.
Like,
Comments
out of
always
any
say
people that I know, Matt is just like, what if Paul played left-handed, got 10, and Ricky played right-handed and got 38?
This show wouldn't exist.
What happens?
This show wouldn't exist without that personality. It wouldn't exist.
I think if Simon wins USDGC, it's hard to argue elsewhere otherwise. Like,
No, I'm not saying he wins it. I'm just saying, again, like, none of them get the win is my point.
If Simon finishes second.
I'm saying if none of them get the win, technically no one would advance in that player of the year. But I'm trying to say... But I'm trying to say a second place is better than, like, someone placing outside of top 20.
Yeah, if Simon finishes second, I still have Rick with the edge.
Okay.
They both have 4 wins, but I'll get to that in a second. But because, like, Simon's been much more inconsistent this year, as far as he said it himself, he's either winning or coming in 30th. Coming in second would add to his podium total. He has a few others like DDO I know of. I think Jonesboro, he might have been up there. It gives him more than I think Paul, because Paul's already been consistent. Like, it's not really something to put it over the edge, I guess. But I still say no. But what I do want to say is, as purely from a player of the year standpoint, Ricky's wins are a lot tougher wins than Simon's has been, besides Maple Hill. A lot of Simon's wins were with lesser fields. I mean, the West Coast swing, he won 2, which they're still elite wins. They're still very notable. Those elite wins are worth more than less wins, like I think Paul Macbeth. But it does say something where Ricky's been winning these really big events that have been some of the top tier ones, even though they haven't been majors for both of them.
Do you think then, Nick, this is my what if, nobody wins out of them, then everything stays the same is what you're saying? If nobody wins. So it doesn't matter. As long as nobody wins, Rick wins is what you're saying. And I'm having a hard time believing that if someone places second and Ricky bombs his worst event of the season, that you can't say, well, that's a technically credit towards that player.
I mean, I think if Paul got second at USDGC this year and Ricky got even like 12th or 10th or 11th,
that's what I'm saying.
Even like 7th or 8th, I think I would still argue that I'd have to look at it, like legitimately look at it. But here's my question really quick. Who this year has won a tournament that's been a fluke? Like, seriously,
as we're 8 or holding Las Vegas chat. No, I'm kidding.
No, who's won a tournament this year that like they only won one?
I'm just messing around. That's where the fluke works.
I think the fluke as in season
not fluke, but like one person, like he won one event this year. I can think of 2 off the top of my head. One of them being
Drew Gibson,
not as
Isaac
noticeable.
Robinson, Bradley Williams. I mean,
where did Brad win it? Brad won Preserve.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. I mean, I feel like Chris Dickerson only won 1 elite or major, which was the major. He won 2 silvers too. I mean, Garrett Gerthy won a silver, and just like a good one at that, being Beaver State.
Yeah.
So there have been a lot of one-time winners. I think the only multiple ones have been Paul, Ricky, Simon, and Calvin. Right?
Calvin. So this is my thing. When we keep bringing up field of strength, and then it's like all of a sudden that became the only topic that like determines if you won the tournament. Like, more often than not, if you look at all of those tournaments, I would say the top 30 players in the world were at each one of those tournaments for the most part, minus 2 or 3 maybe, except for European Open.
Well, here's my argument: is like Portland Open, Ricky was injured, he wasn't there. Chris Dickerson didn't make the trip. I mean, it was in Paul's terrible stretch of the season, although that doesn't matter.
That doesn't matter.
Strength. Yeah. Eagle was injured, so you have all these players who weren't there. Where then, if you compare like a Champions Cup, for instance, like that win that Chris Dickerson had, not only was it a major, it was incredibly impressive because Eagle was, I mean, playing, maybe not the most healthy. Ricky was playing, Paul Macbeth was, playing great. Like all these players were there.
My question is, how much difference was Waco to Des Moines, or how much of a difference was Des Moines to Ledgestone? Or Ledgestone to Jonesboro. You know what I'm talking about? Like, when you talk about when you talk about literally the top 30 to 40 people in the world, a majority of them played every single one of those events. Like I said, minus 2 to 3. And so we talk about how Ricky's wins have been harder in a sense than Simon's. But at the same time, I mean, No, it can't be by that much. Like, we're talking about the few people this year who are one-time winners.
Yeah,
Like,
to Ricky's point earlier, the fields are all pretty much the same nowadays.
Yeah, like
Yeah, I think my point though is if you have Ricky and Simon who both have 4,
Mhm.
like what else is the separator? You can argue consistency and then also strength of those wins, which I think Ricky beats Simon in both of those. He's been much more consistent this year, has a lot more top 10s. I mean, podiums, literally any other metric you use. And then his field of strength for those wins was also stronger.
Yeah.
So what's Simon's case to get over Ricky? They have the same amount of wins. Like, what else?
a major.
Yeah.
Well, yeah. Like,
Or
if they
just
win,
another
if,
win.
if Simon
This is
wins
what,
USDGC, yes, we already agreed
I
on
honestly,
that.
I don't care for, like, I care for it, and I know it's a legitimate thing, the field of strength, but consistency, I think, matters a lot more. I mean, that it obviously matters to Ricky more too. Consistency is what's
European
giving
Open.
him.
European Open.
Okay.
The field's strength there, the strength of field was arguably, right, Statmando, it wasn't that great. But
It was like a good Silver Series.
okay,
Yeah.
so like that. So Eagle winning that is a major status. But
But that's what I'm saying. Like, you probably had the top 10 players in the world who had legitimate chances at winning that, except for maybe Chris Dickerson, who didn't go over there. Other than that, I bet you players 1 through 10 were all at that event. And the only 2 players that really were in contention to win it were Eagle and Paul. Like, this is, I don't know, like, I don't know.
so
Josh, if you have something, go for it.
he's just
bro.
nodding his head.
Yeah, it's I think to your point, Nick, is right now what you're doing when you're determining strength of field is you're weighting Paul, Ricky, these people that we've seen on tour a lot higher than the new guns on tour, a lot higher than a Gannon or an Isaac, even though these guys are outplaying, like Gannon. Gannon outplayed a bunch of these guys on tour. Like, him being there adds to field strength. And I think it's just harder for us to look at the newer field and be like, oh, okay, these guys, I mean, like when we're in tennis, when we look at Alcaraz, it's like, this kid's got it. And Nadal and Djokovic and Fed,
Yeah, I know. Retired.
they're on the way out, right? So there's a point where it swaps. And I think we're kind of in this emotional state where it's like, oh, Federer's the GOAT. Like, oh, tennis won't, but it's like, really, Alcaraz, Sinner, Rudd, all these new guys are like Robinsons, Burr, all these younger guys, Rathbun, are coming in, and they are bringing a huge quality to the field that's just everyone's monsters right now. And we just wait in our minds the people who are more consistent because they've been playing on the tour for so long.
Okay, now I'm gonna devil's advocate with it. So we've talked about this kind of like
I just jumped on your side, Nick.
Well, like kind of. I mean,
I just messed with you, bro.
No, I get it. Like, the young guns coming up on the tour are doing incredible, but this is also one of the things. Like, I don't think we're within the next 4 years. I don't think we're going to see a changing of the tides. I think Paul, Ricky, Eagle, Simon, who are older. Eagle not as much, but Simon, Paul, and Ricky are a little bit older than most of the people that are playing on the tour right now when we talk about the young guns, but I don't think they're going anywhere anytime soon. And then another thing, I forget who I was talking to this about, but if you look at Gannon Burr for now, how long he's been playing pro, I think at what age he's at right now too. You know, we kind of keep hyping up this massive career of Gannon, and I think Gannon is an incredible player, and he's really fun to watch. He's a little slow. We all make fun of him for it in a fun way.
He makes fun of himself.
Yeah, I actually love watching his game. But if you look at it, I think at this point, when Will Schustrick was that same age, he was already doing better than what Gannon is doing right now. Granted,
Right, but he got 4th on Pro Tour points, right?
Gannon did.
Wasn't Gannon 4th?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Yep.
And so, like,
So
if we're
consistent.
talking about over the year, that's a pretty big win for these guys to beat Gannon if he's consistent. If he like averages 4th.
Yeah, his consistency
Calvin.
top 10 wise this year, and Calvin as well. Yeah, Calvin. Yeah, no, Gannon was 3rd, wasn't he?
No,
Gannon was 4th, and then Calvin,
Calvin
was
was
3rd.
3rd, and Gannon was 4th,
Calvin
I
was
think.
3rd. Yep.
Those are the
So
only
that
players
automatically
averaging
puts
better.
them up at the top quality, right? Because they showed consistency. Even Gannon.
Yeah.
I don't know how far he's going to go, but for sure.
I think at any
quality.
Elite Series event, for the most part, the field of strength, although it is different, don't get me wrong, a majority of times that an Elite Series event is played, there's multiple people who can win it now, which is why I think consistently playing well at those events is what kind of is really drawing me to it. I mean, Paul, I think got top 10 or top 12 at the first major of the year, but then got second at the second major, and then got first at the third major.
Mhm.
He's got an Elite Series win at Waco, and then I think an A tier. I don't think he has any other wins besides that, but he's consistently playing well with a fluke of a tournament once or twice this year, maybe one out of cash. But I mean, Ricky won Ledgestone and then miscashed at Des Moines the week after, with arguably, is what we're saying, a lighter field of strength. You know what I mean? So he played worse at the softer field of strength, if I'm saying that correctly.
Can we just agree that whoever needs to win USDGC does it? Because I mean, that's what we're saying. It's like that's where it lies right now. I could come up with a million what if scenarios that are really exciting, but I'm gonna hold off on that for now. We're gonna, yeah, okay, fine. If we say the same, here it is. You said do it. If we see the same battle that we saw out of Eagle and Paul at the European Open, let's say Eagle and Paul did that at USDGC. I know Eagle's not there. Let's say they did that, right? They stood out way far and above the whole field, just them. And again, Ricky and the rest and Simon, they don't place well at all. I mean, it's hard to not go, Paul way outplayed them, right? Or again, that's the only way Paul gets it this year, is if he does something spectacular, wins it or does something amazing. Ricky's kind of coasting a little bit here. As long as no one else gets the win, he probably gets it. And Simon probably needs a win to be able to get that nod. I think we all agree for the most part on that. Let's move it to FPO. Is there anything that can be done?
I gotta cut you off really quick. I don't know why I'm saying field of strength.
We've been
supposed to be saying strength of field. I don't know why I'm
You're
doing that.
messing us all up because we're all saying it.
Yeah,
too.
I don't know why I thought it was that. So Steve and everyone else, I apologize. I don't know why I was saying that instead of strength of field, which I don't know why I keep like. I don't know. What am I supposed to be saying? Please stop saying field of strength.
Strength of the
Strength of
Strength
field
of
or
field.
field
It's all the same,
strength.
bro.
Okay.
Of field.
Like, think the words field of strength. Like, that doesn't, it does, you're not
Yeah,
saying
no,
anything
when
with
I was
field
saying
of
it, it
strength.
sounded good, but now that I'm saying it
It
again,
sounded good.
it sounds awful.
It sounded good to me too.
Guys, you know what? Too many Sour Patch. I've been up since 4 this morning. My bad.
All right.
But
Well,
anyways,
I know we're
I
about to move
apologize.
on,
FPO.
but just to Nick's point, running it for the tour season this year, the only of 2 events with all 10 top 10 players at that week going into the event was Worlds and Champions Cup. I mean, with Eagle missing most, that kind of makes sense. That's some of the only few events he's played. But then also with Chris Dickerson missing some, European Open had 7 top 10 players. So it's missing 3. I mean, like Gannon Burr didn't go over as well. Dickerson didn't go over. Like, even though it was those 2, like Gannon Burr could have been right up in there. He could have been 3rd and only 4 strokes behind. Like, there's all that possibility. I mean, if you look at like even the top 50 players, there's a pretty notable gap. I mean, 48 of the top 50 players were at Worlds. The next closest event was Champions Cup in Ledgestone with 43. So that's 5 players in the top 50. I know you could argue those kind of bottom ones might not do stuff, but like still, I think that is notable. And then if you compare to European Open, only 21 of the top 50 players were there. So half the amount of top 50 players, which if this season has showed anything, it's that, yeah, we can have players win who are maybe the 20th or 30th best in the world.
Yeah. So when you have all these different level events, for example, are all the majors worth like if first place MPO at all the majors worth the same amount of points?
It depends on the system. Like Pro Tour points and UDisc will have them all worth the same. So yeah, for our ranking system at Statmando, we do field of strength. No, I'm just kidding. Strength of field.
Field of strength time.
Sorry,
Hard.
we do the strength of field, or actually we call it field strength.
Jeff
but-
Wysocki, is it Robin Hood Men in Tights, the movie quote that you did? All right, back to you, Evan.
Okay. Josh, yes, but to your point, Josh, yes. I mean, realistically, all the majors are weighted the same. Now, there are different systems out there, and I'm sure like they're starting to incorporate media votes and everything into committee votes to figure out players of the year. They're starting to do all that stuff. But to this point, it has been weighted the same. But before we carry that conversation on further, we have to take a break here, and we have to say thank you to Hempfield Botanicals. Hempfield Botanicals, the salve, I got it right. See, the salve. It's in this little container. You can get a big container, but I don't like to store it on my desk, the big container. Comes in a beautiful little box like this. Let's see if I can get to focus. Boop, there it is. It says on it, live better naturally. It's hemp-based CBD. This is your muscle recovery little pump bottle, and I use this after a round just generally in the joints and the places where your arms might hurt. Probably bad form, right, Josh? I mean, or is it just lack of playing? What do you think?
Hey, there are serious overuse issues in our sport that just aren't addressed. So if you're hurting somewhere, get it fixed up.
This
is probably not a bad idea. I'm not a PT. Go consult someone.
Yeah.
But get it fixed up and then go look at your form to make sure that it's not a form issue causing it.
He's saying the truth. The reality is, though, if you are hurting, just slather on some of this Hempfield CBD product and you'll feel better. You might have to keep using it because your form is bad, to his point. So get that fixed too. So go check it out at Hempfield Botanical. What am I hearing dinging, Ben?
Try and charge my phone.
Oh, okay. HempfieldBotanicals.com. Use code Nick and Matt. Code Nick and Matt's going to get 20% off. Hurry quick. Don't know how long this deal's going to last. Again, HempfieldBotanicals.com. Let's move the conversation to FPO.
On to the FPO
because
side. Kristen Tatar.
Is there anything that can sway the conversation? We lost Josh now? Ben.
Oh, yeah. We had Josh.
No, I'm still here.
Okay. Is there anything to sway?
You are. Yeah, you're good. You're good.
Kristen from not receiving Player of the Year. And again, we're just going to go to... let's open it up for this one. Let's open it up. Could Paige win both USDGC and the Pro Tour finale, and would she be the winner?
I don't know. How's the rest of her year been going?
Oh, you tell me.
I don't know. I'm genuinely curious.
How do you feel as a fan?
I feel like Kristen's just above everyone by a mile as a fan.
Even if Paige wins out, would that be like a recency bias?
All right. So throw pink's not a major.
Right. That's another conversation.
That's another conversation. I know. With the Pro Tour Championships being kind of a different format, I don't hold the Pro Tour Championships in this like massive high regard of like it's a beyond elite event because of the way that it's set up and the way that the format is. I think the format, I mean, I think it's enjoyable to watch, and I think Nathan Queen's win last year at it was pretty incredible, the kind of Cinderella story of it. But so throw pink not being a major, but being an elite event. I mean, to be honest, all the best FPO players I feel like are playing that event. And then for the Pro Tour Championships, even if she won back to back, I mean, Kristen would have to get 80th and 80th for me to feel like she doesn't deserve Player of the Year.
And it would have to be from not a fluke. Like it would have to be like she actually played bad.
Yeah, exactly.
The worst she can finish at the Tour Championship is
good point.
8th,
like, yeah,
because she's got top 4 locked, and then there's 4 coming in. I would assume maybe there's 8.
All right, freaking stat guy here.
Didn't Paige last year? Paige last year in like her 3rd or 2nd round played her worst round of her life last year.
Yeah, I remember doing a bunch of stats about that. I can't remember them exactly. It was, I think, the worst or the largest gap from good round to really bad round of her career.
It was bad.
Maybe ever, and it was like one of the first times she was ever outside the top 20 after a round in FPO. Like it was unfortunate. But what I'll say is we've actually have come to the end of the standard elite series and major season for FPO. The Tour Championship, I think winning it is a kind of an iconic thing. It is a really good win, but it's really tough to kind of pull the rest of the stats from it, as in like your podiums, top 10s, like podium percentage. Kristen Tatar is 100% in the year. I think that's locked in and solid, because the Tour Championship, you just start with buys and all this stuff. Like I said, I don't think she can finish worth an 8th, or is it 12th? So to me, that doesn't really tell a good story if you finished, top 20, because she's got that lock. She's had no effort. It's a non-standard, but it is a good thing to win. But with that saying, she's only the 9th FPO player to ever have 100% podiums with at least 5 starts in a season. Like 9th player ever.
But
First one to do it since Katrina Allen in 2015.
A minute ago, lack of wins didn't mean anything. Now finishing on a podium means something?
I'm just saying it's a really iconic season for that. Okay. I know there's going to be the argument as if it's the best season ever. I'm not trying to get into that from an FPO player. But her wins, she's tied with Paige. They're both at 5, I believe.
Wow.
And so the standard Elite Series and major season's done. So to me, it's kind of hard to pass that. So now we're looking at other things. But for the Player of the Year, you're going to think of more than that. So if Paige does win throw pink, which also, as far as strength of field goes, is going to be one of the best FPO events of the year. And then you go to Tour Championship, which will have the biggest payout of the year. If Paige does win those back to back, I think it sets up a really good argument, and it might give her the edge, but I personally think that Kristen Tatar has it locked up. I mean, first of all, winning back to back here would be a monumental, whatever you want to call it, to end the season. I'm not really good with words, but I think it's unlikely, and I think it's all but locked up for Kristen Tatar. I mean, again, she hasn't missed a podium this year. I would assume that she's going to keep up at least a solid finish, and I think top 5 is almost guaranteed from her.
The strength of field when Paige won could be arguably that Kristen wasn't there for a good handful of those, I think. So like you have that
That's
too.
absolutely valid.
So
to everyone asking why we still haven't had Kristen on the show, I'm going to tell you this right now. Kristen is actually one of my closest friends in disc golf now. Her, Silver, Katie, the Estonians that travel together are incredible people, but they are literally so busy. It is actually really hard to lock down a time with them.
Well, and I'll go one step further. I actually contacted her this week.
Exactly. Like we reach out and try to get a time that works. The other thing is that like she may have a day that works, but that's a day that it's awful for Matt, Ben, or I, or Evan. Like it's sometimes literally just our schedules have collided in the worst possible way. But believe me, I will bring Kristen's Pro Tour Championships trophy to the show when she comes on, because it's sitting in my room in Massachusetts right now. So anyways, we desperately want her on.
It's going to be a little bit. She honestly had so much success and was able to be lined up by newspapers and news channels and everything under the sun that quite frankly, she'd like to focus on her last events and not sit down and talk more. We have never been in her. Well, we talk every week, but most people have never been in her situation where they're constantly being interviewed. And I can't imagine answering the same questions over and over for hours at a time. So
we ask the same questions over and over and over. But I'll say this also, like we're talking about, it's the end of the year for the season. They have 2 more big events, we'll say. So maybe after that, we'll definitely try to get her on. But it has been literally just the worst possible timing that it just hasn't worked out right now. But I just want to tell everyone we have tried probably like 4 or 5 times now. Recently as well, like even more so recently.
Apparently we're not doing good enough.
No, it's just, I mean,
like
I said, bad timing.
Exactly. It's up to the players that are able to make it, and they're busy. So
bingo.
Cool. We've done a lot of talking tonight, and we had an interview, and we had Stat or Fiction, we had Judge That Disc Golfer, we had Josh from Overthrow, and we had some humorous moments that I won't forget for a while. I'm going to definitely watch it back right after this. All I can say is we have a lot more that we could talk about. It was an off week, and if we can do this in an off week, imagine what we can do after USDGC.
Yeah, right.
So, all right, we're going to catch back up. We have the Pro Tour finale coming up after that, too, at Nevins, and that's going to be an interesting thing to review. But
is there any coverage of Nevins? So I've actually heard it's a fun course, really wooded.
Yeah.
I'm curious if there's coverage. If anyone knows if there's coverage on it, leave it in the comments. Would appreciate it. I'd love to look it up.
Check out our front 9, back 9 I mentioned earlier if you just want to see how bad I played and how bad Nick.
I think we all kind of played. Evan actually murdered it the first like 7 holes of the front 9.
Yeah, and then
my guy duped me on the back 9. I'm just kidding. I'm just kidding.
You are not wrong.
But I was going to say,
asking for USDGC predictions.
No,
we're not doing it.
We can do that really quick.
Do it. We're so late.
USDGC predictions. Paul Macbeth. And for Throw Pink, Kristen Tatar.
I have no picks. If you want to give them, you can. Josh or Evan.
Josh, he's gonna pick a tennis player. Watch him.
Yeah, Kristen for sure. Let me think about the courses real quick. Super Open Bombers, lots of OBs.
Missy Gann and Wild Horse.
I think Paul's got a good shot.
I'm just going to go back-to-back bold here. I'm going to go Isaac Robinson.
Whoa.
He's played well here. It used to be the only Elite Series major he would play each season. He would make a trek out there. He knows the course. He's been playing it for like a decade, even though he's only been touring for a season or 2. So I'm going him. Nothing to back it up. Just let's go Isaac.
Probably not Kyle Klein, but I'm going to throw out a few. Calvin Heimberg.
In FPO, I'm going Val Mandohano.
Ooh,
Remember, she
love
was
that
leading
pick.
late into it
Yep.
last year. I think 17 bit her, if I remember correctly, and Missy came away with it. She's cooled off a bit since a really great start to the season, but I'm going Val. Let's see it.
I'd give Holland second.
Ooh, I like that pick. Let's go.
I think you need a forehand. I think you need distance on both sides. Overstable plastic.
Yeah, you're rewarded for not going OB. So if you're aggressive, you better be really playing well. If you're not aggressive, that's where you can kind of show up and snag the win. So it'll be interesting to see. I'm thinking it's getting harder and harder and harder to make picks. Like if you went into a PGA event and you're like, I'm going to pick who wins. I mean, there's a handful of players that would be good guesses.
Yeah, exactly.
I think that's where we're getting to a little bit. That's why I'm like, listen, like we can all say Paul Macbeth.
All right. Who's the picks?
I also want to say
Calvin
I'm super
Heimberg.
excited.
Okay.
Let's go. I'm excited to see Kristen Tatar play these courses, or this course. It's one course. If I'm remembering correctly, she has not played Winthrop ever. She's played U.S. Women's when it wasn't here, but she's never played Throw Pink because it was 2020, and then last year she couldn't make it because of travel issues. And she's just really clinical at just placement shots. Great shots, but keeping it in bounds. It's kind of what she's excelled at, this
feel like
whole
she's a pretty good
backstretch of
putter
the year.
too.
Yeah,
Pretty good forehand player.
Are you kidding me? Yeah,
Pretty good backhand player.
She's got all the skills, and this just like
Did pretty well
this
at
course is
Worlds.
so detrimental to like every little mistake, and she's great at just not making mistakes in these types of courses. It'll be fun to watch, or we'll get to see her just somehow not be able to do it, and she'll look human again. I don't know.
Yeah, it's hard to bet on Paige right now, but there's always that potential if she shows up and is just there. But she's talking about a little bit of like lack of that fire right now, so we'll see.
All right. Is that all of our picks? Ben?
Intern Ben, I'm going to have to go
Matteo.
Gannonberg.
Gannonberg.
Let's go.
He said he was confident, so
All right.
that he could
Well, I
take
guess
about
he is.
FPO?
All
They're
right.
all
In
confident.
FPO, you have to pick someone who at least won an event this year.
one event this year.
Yeah.
Um,
You could go on Scoggins. I'm not going to say no to that.
your mom. No, I'm kidding.
Excuse me.
Got him.
I did say you could pick on Scoggins, but that's...
I don't know. Paige.
There you go.
All right. Thanks, Ben.
Alrighty. Well, I think that legitimately brings us to the end of the show, but I'm going to give one last shout out really quick. And he fell asleep tonight because he's a young lad, but Grayson Moore came up to me yesterday after my round, and it's a small little kid. Awesome. He was drawing tickets for the raffles. He was hanging out. His parents were there. They came up to me. They watched the show religiously every single week. He was just the nicest kid, and they wished me good luck. They said the show was awesome. So I 100% said that tonight I was going to give him a shout out. I meant to do it earlier when I was talking about the tournament, but we kind of got right into Ricky's interview. Anyways, Grayson Moore, you are the man, and I can't wait to see you next time, you and your family up in the New Hampshire area. So
Keep up the good work, Grayson. I have a
Yes.
son named Grayson as well.
Yep. He's awesome.
Awesome.
I wrote his name down and everything just to make sure. So, but I saw his mom message as well. But anyways, everybody.
Josh, any closing thoughts for the whole thing?
I've got a lot, but I don't think we can get. Okay, I'll streamline it. I think the discussion's really hard if you don't have consistent points determining world rankings, because then your field of strength is determined by who shows up or not, and then you gatekeep who shows up. If it's 1,000-point tournament, you have to have X amount of points on tour to get there. I know we're headed that direction, and then go down the ladder, and you can only get in if you got a certain amount of points. And now you can look at the tournaments and say, hey, we only had 4 of the top 10 guys show up. Not that good of a tournament. But until then,
Man,
sucks to suck.
let's keep talking another hour. No, we're done. We're done. But that was good. Thank you so much for coming on. We'll do it again, and we'll make it more formal where we're actually having on Josh from Overthrow for Josh for Overthrow. We can talk about stuff. But we were glad to have you on in this guest role to judge the disc golfer tonight. So thank you very much.
Oh, I'm always happy to poorly
Jeez.
judged disc golfers.
This
There you
is
go.
what it's like, by the way, to be upgraded from the chat room to the coverage. It's like I get to say stuff you want. They're
Yeah.
arguing about something in there tonight because you're not
Yeah,
there to hold it down.
They were
So.
arguing.
Dumb
All right.
arguments. Anyways,
They always argue,
everybody.
right? That's part of the
Always
fun.
argue. Chat always argues.
That's why it's so
Everybody.
lively in there. I mean, I'm always in there too.
I know.
It's a
addicting.
fun time.
It's
Just
addictive.
yelling at people across the keyboard.
Uh-huh.
I
About
finally
tennis.
understand like what our commenters on our channel, those like
Daniel
guys
from
get after.
Texas.
It's like
Daniel from Texas beefed with Josh. It was lovely to see. Daniel.
All right. Here we go.
Everyone's beefing.
Close it out,
Anybody.
Nick.
Anyways.
oh, Daniel? Oh, I know
Yeah.
him.
Oh, I
His
know.
profile picture looks like this.
All right. Go ahead.
Anywho, we're gonna end it now. So, everybody, thanks for tuning in tonight. It was an awesome night having Ricky on as a guest. Covered some great topics. I think there's still so much debate going around on who's going to be the player of the year in the MPO and FPO division. Not so much the FPO, I don't think, in my eyes. But anyways, thank you once again. Don't forget to like, subscribe, comment. Check us out on all your favorite podcast platforms. Tell someone you love them this week. See you in the next one.
I get the last
Love you,
word.
Daniel.
I love USDGC being at the same venue every year. Not that I love that venue, but I love the fact
You
that
would
the
say that
major
at
does.
9/11 at night. Anyways.
And yes, you just made Daniel smile in the chat. And you're awesome, Ben. You're awesome, Nick. You're awesome, Evan. Thanks, Josh, for coming on. You're awesome. Peace out, everybody.
Peace.
Thanks, guys.
The Nick and Matt Show, a disc golf podcast designed for you, the disc golfer. Find the Nick and Matt Show on your favorite podcast platforms or join the conversation live on YouTube.